Hey, what's up, guys? So today is going to be a little bit weird. We're going to get back into the development stuff we were doing yesterday, the design development stuff we were doing yesterday. But I had this kind of weird thought last night and tried to track down an answer for it, and I could not get a solid, conclusive answer based on the stuff that we're doing if we're exposing ourselves to potentially losing our channel on YouTube. I don't want to mess around with that because if we lost our YouTube channel, oh boy, that would be a problem, like a big problem. I don't know. We'd have to completely retool what we're doing in the office, and not something we want to even mess with. So what I was trying to do yesterday, and we'll switch here, was to figure out if this extension that we're developing is okay by Google and by YouTube. I don't know if it is. This is the thing. I don't know if it is or isn't. I can't find anything conclusive in policy that says if this is okay to do, because what we wanted to do here as part of the main functionality was have a Chrome extension that you guys would download and install. It would just live, as a standard Chrome extension up here somewhere. And when you were watching one of our videos on YouTube, it would keep track of the watch time, and it would provide you with points if you watched the whole video. Now, what's kind of shaky about this is that we would be doing this through something called, I actually don't even know what this would be called. We're just doing an interface into the application, right, into your Chrome browser, and then that Chrome browser is going to tell us if you're watching something or not. And then we could say, okay, are they watching the thing that they can get points for? If they are, okay, give them points. There's some shaky language inside of the YouTube terms of service. I'm going to bring that up. YouTube API developer policies that doesn't actually say you can't do this, but it kind of does. So like there's a lot. This is, for whatever it's worth, this is really well written policy documentation. It's not super legally. It's not, it's nothing in here is scary to read. But what we found was that in this subsection here, dealing with user experience, it says, if you're using the API client, which would be something we'd have to get a key for, you cannot offer or provide incentives, rewards, or other compensation to users for engaging with YouTube applications directly or indirectly. And then they specify what sort of things that means. This means like, no, you can't incentivize actions like viewing content, liking content, sharing content, subscribing to channels, adding comments. Okay. And then they give you an example saying you can't do like sub for sub trading or video view trading. There must be nothing YouTube or non-YouTube related, so they're kind of giving this broad net out, but it's only applicable to the API client. And so an API client is described as a website or software application developed by you that accesses or uses the API services. And then the YouTube API services include the YouTube Data API service and the YouTube Reporting API service. It doesn't say anything about youtube.com. It doesn't say anything about that, but it kind of gives a broader explanation here, saying data, content, including audiovisual content, and information provided to API clients. So what it's basically saying is you definitely can't do something like this if you're asking the API, did they watch it? Did they subscribe? Did they like whatever? So we had looked in the research phase and found out you could do some of these things. You could ask the API to say, are they subscribed to the channel? Did they do an action on the channel? You couldn't ask what their watch history was, but we figured like you could do some things. And what I'm worried about is that we may be, even with a browser extension, we may be pushed underneath this definition. And at the very least, we're going to catch a warning for it. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want to do anything here that YouTube isn't okay with, right? So I just don't want to. I don't want to push these boundaries to some point. This isn't a situation where like, I don't want this to be a situation rather where we have to make a case for what we're doing because from their perspective, it's not okay. Does that make sense? So I couldn't find anything else. So if I go to YouTube, the only other thing that was close was their fake engagement policy. So for creators, they have a much easier to read policy set. They just have these 5 things here. And I read through all of them last night trying to figure out, did anything really, line up with what we're doing? And so spam and deceptive practices, definitely not. This isn't anything like that. Policy on impersonation, are we trying to impersonate a person or a channel? No, definitely not. Are we sticking links into the content that violate policy? Definitely not. Nope. There's a fake engagement policy, which is close, right? So don't post content on YouTube if it links to or promotes third-party services. So they're basically saying, like, if you're going to post a video that says this is how to artificially inflate your views like subscribers, don't do it. This is just saying content around it, though. It's not saying don't do these things. It's saying the content around it, which is interesting. It's saying also content linking to or promoting third-party view count, blah, 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 same thing. So don't have content promoted on YouTube that says how to game YouTube. Don't offer to do sub for sub where you say, hey, if you subscribe to my channel, and I got to be careful saying this stuff because I don't want to trigger anything. But essentially the sub for sub scheme is this thing where you basically trade subscriptions with another user. It's kind of, you can see the same stuff on Twitch. It's kind of a garbage way to grow your channel, but they're also just, this is just content though. This is nothing like actions. And so there's nothing that I could find. There's additional policies as well, but these have to deal with, you could have your videos deleted. You could have your videos kicked off if there's language that you're trying to push into younger people. If none of these things are super bad. We're not doing any of this stuff. So I can't find anything. So my only solution at this point is to, when we look at the extension, to sort of say like, I don't want to be in this spot where our channel catches a warning. And I definitely don't want to be in a spot where our channel just gets straight taken down. I don't know how to fight that stuff. And I would hope that they're reasonable enough that if we explain to them, we're just trying to make this system to reward fans, that they'd be like, yeah, okay, just take it down. Or they're going to be like, yeah, okay, it's fine. I don't want to be in a situation where we have to have a review process, right? I would rather just hold off on doing that stuff and say, I need to talk to somebody at YouTube. I need to get a contact there who will give me a green light or a red light on this. If they give me a red light, I don't care. We'll just move on. If they give me a green light, great. At least now we know it's okay to do. Because I can see why they have these policies. These policies exist, especially the API policy. I'll tell you why this exists. I'll tell you what is blocking, what they don't want to see happen. It's pretty clear. What they don't want to have happen is for you to make an extension or anything, just extension, a web app, a mobile app, whatever, that serves people videos. And then you say, watch the video and you get 5 cents. Okay. That's what they don't want at all. And they're almost extending this out to say, like, we actually don't want anything at all. We don't want to trade it for a fee or trade video views in order to return other YouTube related or non-YouTube related actions. So that is blurry enough. So if you had a point system that you were giving people points and those points could exchange into gift cards, that's probably going to get you in trouble. That little thing at the very end is going to get you in trouble. And then they, again, they enumerate all the different ways they don't want you to do things. So I don't want to push any buttons over there. I don't want them to come at us. I don't want them to say, oh, well, we didn't use the YouTube API, but that's obviously a policy there. Now, if they're totally cool with it, fine. But until we get a green light from them, we're not going to proceed down the path of creating an extension that does this. Understand? It won't do this. It won't track views. Rather, it won't reward you for viewing something. It won't reward you for liking something. It won't reward you for subscribing to our channel. None of that. It's just going to be an extension that Well, I can lay it out, but the gist is, I think the way that we can do this in a way that Google is okay with it and YouTube's okay with it, where we're not even moving into a violation territory or anything that's questionable, is we're going to create a browser extension that instead rewards you for having the browser extension installed. So maybe every day that you have the extension involved, you can claim some OmatumBucks out of it. And again, let's be clear, OmatumBucks there's not money. They're just points that you can earn, loyalty points for our brand. So if you have our brand's extension installed, it'll say, hey, you can earn points today. You hit the button, you open up the extension, you click another button, and boom, you got your points. Done. What we can do then is we can create a centralized way in that extension to say, hey, we have videos you can watch. These are the ones that we noticed you haven't watched yet. Do you want to, it's just a checklist at that point. Like, we can keep track of the watch time. We can see if you've liked something. We can see if you've commented on something. We can see if you're subscribed. And all we're going to be saying is, hey, you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet. Do you want to do that? No reward, zero reward, nothing. We give you nothing for this. You win zero prizes. There's nothing that you get, but you help us out. And until we get a clear answer from YouTube that says, yes, you can do that, or no, you can't do that, we can't go any further than that. It's kind of a bummer, but it'll allow us to put the infrastructure in place. So if they go ahead and say, yeah, you guys can do that, I mean, it's going to take like an hour and now we've got points. If they say you can't do that, then we just make sure we never put points in. We never incentivize like that. Let me catch up on chat. So Dropout Dev, you had asked how you get stuff like watch time through the browser extension. Well, YouTube, when you're in the YouTube browser version, it does report if the video that you're currently watching is running or not. So you could game it, sure, but again, there's no incentive to game it at this point. So it can report out and say a video is playing or a video is not playing. So we would just take that information and run it up. Well, Dropout Dev, the way it reports it is a lot simpler than you'd think. So if we go to a YouTube video, I'm going to go to one of our videos and I'll show you. So if we go on, oh boy, I got to mute this tab though. Let me just mute that so we don't hear that stuff. What was that? Unmute. You can mute the whole site now. That's fantastic. But I just wanted to mute this one tab. But okay. So let's go to the man versus code episode where it's me versus Docker, right? So right now it's playing. And because it's playing, there's two things happening. One thing is updated the title in some way, shape, or form to indicate that. There's something that like Google will say, oh yeah, stuff's happening here. But the easier way, I'll show you the easy way, is we just look into the DOM and we ask the DOM, do you have anything in here that says you're playing? And bingo, bango, somewhere in here there's a class added that says player playing. All right, we could go through it, but essentially there, I don't think it's auto list. I mean, there's somewhere in here, buried deep within the stack, it's going to say this player's playing. Okay, because like they have to add a class to change that button, right? Change that button from playing to not playing. Very easy to do. And you can do that with like a very easy check. Is it playing? And what is the URL? Okay, we've got the URL. Does it match something we have? Yep. Okay. And then stuff like this stuff is trivial, right? Just look at the like button, and you see how it says active. We'll turn it off. It's going to lose that style. Turn it back on. It gets the style again. So we can do things like, hey, if we want you to like things or unlike, we don't care. Just like we want you to fill one of these two things out. And all we're going to do is say, did you do it? It's just a checklist to help us, tell you guys those are important things that helps our channel out, right? Very easy to do. Yeah, notification. What's that for? Notification your channel has been banned. I mean, it's kind of a scary thing. I try to be very protective of our channel because if we lose it, we're in trouble. We've only published like a handful of videos so far, and it's growing quicker than we had hoped it would grow, right? But I just don't want to do anything that could jeopardize it. This is something that could definitely jeopardize it. Is the element completely removed when it's paused? No. I think they just change a class. And yeah, Tommy, we saw that the YouTube mobile app has that time watch feature. Exactly. They know. I mean, they know how much time you've watched, but it's incredibly hard. I think the only way I could get an app like this built is I'd have to do it with not only the blessing of YouTube, but it's one of these things where you go to a conference and you hang out with somebody like an executive at YouTube and you just pitch them the idea. And you say, how cool would it be if we could do this? And they'd be like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. There's no reason why we shouldn't do that. Because on their end, they see incentive for engagement, and they see longer watch times, which means more ad dollars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Why do you think Twitch made channel points? Twitch made channel points with that little thing so you can click I'm still watching, right? And then you get a little bonus points out of it. That helps them. That gets them more ad time. It gets them, more money. It's not stupid. It's just a way to make sure people are engaged. And the only way I think we could really pull that off is if we have their complete and total blessing, and that's it. So let's not poke the bear. Let's not do anything that they don't want us to do. I mean, again, just to reiterate, we only want to do stuff that Google is cool with. We don't want to. I have no intention of trying to push any boundaries here. Look at the bottom of the page for the dev docs, and click on the request that approval at this form. What the hell is that? Sorry, we've been looking for a way to contact them. For specific policies in the following list that require YouTubers prior, you can request approval at this form. Okay. And let's make sure there isn't anything that's like broadly stated here. Sell, purchase, lease, lend, convey, blah, blah, blah. Sell advertising, blah, blah, blah. Sell that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I think we would have to, at a form. Well, at least there's a form. Now, this is the other thing, though. The YouTube API is like, you can't do it. So I'm sure they're just going to point to that and say, well, you can't do that in the API. Because we're not going through the API at all. We're not doing that. We're just looking at the web page. We weren't planning on using the API for anything. So, we need like a Google policy thing, a YouTube policy thing. But again, the easy way around this is there's no incentivization for doing any actions. However, those actions are listed there, and if you'd like to do them, great. It would really help us out. And what I like about this approach too is we could extend this a little bit. Like if we say, okay, this is probably not smart to do. So let me just say, boop, might get us in trouble. Okay. We definitely can still do login. We can do points display. We can do branding. We can make it available on the Chrome store, and we can alert you when you're on a video. Nope, that's not something we want to do anymore. But what we could do is now the main functionality is, why is that? That's the tiniest font. The main functionality becomes like shows a list of YouTube videos you could take action on as a checklist to help us grow our channel and expose you to new content. And so it just becomes that. And we could extend that just a little bit and say some additional things that could also show when we're live on Twitch. So if you're browsing the web and you say, oh, Greg's live, I can go watch him now. I don't know if that's something you guys care about, but we could do it. It's not hard. Show when new videos are posted, because, hey, maybe you turned off the subscription feed in YouTube, but you still want to see ours. We could have it show when new products are launched, and we could say with a code or something. We could send out discounts. We could do daily points for using the extension. And that could be really fun because we could do a, one spin per day of the spinning wheel of rewards. Right? And say like that's anywhere from 1 to, I don't know, 10,000 Omatum bucks that you can earn just for logging in every day and be like, boop. Right? I mean, like it seems it's restrictive to a really big degree, but how could anyone argue that this is a problem, right? You willingly download an app. All it's basically, hey, have you seen the new Omatum stuff, the app? Now, for the points, we've talked about this a lot, and like we do want to be able to reward you guys tangibly. So if we're doing a tangible reward, YouTube might say, well, that's not money, but it's kind of money. It's kind of like money. And if we tie that to an action on YouTube, they might get pissed. So I would totally understand that too. I'd be like, I get it. You don't want me sending users over there and giving them like a coupon for a hat if they watch 10 videos or something like that. I get it. You don't want any sort of weird incentivization because it's probably a zero tolerance policy. And I mean, like it's kind of, I don't know, simple. It's a simple extension that still has all this, the main functionality. Because on top of all this stuff, we could also do like track it, what new content you could watch, and take action on. But that's just tracking it. It's not rewarding you. It's just giving you a list saying like, hey, there's all these videos that you haven't watched yet. You want to watch one? Go for it. We'll keep track of it. Oh, you've watched that one already? Cool. Just do whatever you want to do with your day now. Like, it's kind of weird. But just as a technology experiment and something we can make content around, this is what we're gonna have to tool it into. Because if we don't, boy howdy, that would suck. Imagine me going on our Discord one day and being like, well, guys, it was a good run. Company's over. They gave us a big hard ban. That would suck. Just for something that like doesn't really matter to us that much, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. You can see your points, obviously, but I think we would also have stuff in here that's like multiply points based on if you're like a Twitch subscriber. That might fall into the same damn category though, where Twitch is going to be like, you can't incentivize subscribers. So let's just get rid of it. Like let's just do stuff that's nobody's going to get pissed about. I think that's out of the way though. Like that's pretty much what I wanted to go over with. It's a little bit of a shift and it's not as fun. I think it's a lot more fun to go the other way, to give you guys points for hitting buttons and stuff like that. And again, I don't know if anybody's really going to want to use this thing, but if you do, it can get you free stuff. We're trying to assign a dollar value, internal dollar value per point. And I think we're kind of saying like 1 point is about a penny. So if we had a hat that was $30, 3,000 points would get you that hat. And so imagine spinning a wheel and getting 3,000 points off the wheel and boom, you get yourself a free hat. It's kind of cool, kind of fun. Who doesn't like free things? Now, the other part of this that we have to discuss is the token, because similarly, the token opens us up to issues. I think when we're giving something that's like a straight, like you got a hat, it's a little bit different than you got a token. And I feel like at this point, until we get sign off from, I don't think Twitch would care, and I don't think Discord would care if I do a little thing in chat that's like .OmatumBucks at 500. Like if I do, can't do that. Hold on a sec. I don't know how you call commands in Twitch, but if I did a dot and it said unrecognized command. Anyways, if we just did like a little thing that was like, hey, here's add. Let's do this. We're gonna have to write the bot anyway. So something like that then is like, boom, give Greg 500 OmatumBucks. How is Twitch gonna care about that? I just don't see how they can care. Even if it was literally that's $500 USD, right? How could they care? Like they don't have anything. Discord doesn't care either, but I feel like YouTube might care. So they're very protective of their platform for good reason. There's a lot of gaming that goes on a place like that because people make money based on all sorts of things there. So I think we'll have to evaluate though if the token is going to get us in any trouble, because maybe Twitch does care. Maybe Twitch says you can't do that, buddy. You got to give them bits or something, because bits are basically their little tokens, right? There might be something where we can get in big time trouble for that. And I know that might mean that we detach a big part of this project, which is the ERC20 token. But guys, from a liability standpoint, I cannot take on liability for ideas that are just sort of like fun to do. You know what I mean? We could still develop the ERC20 token. We could still get it all in place. But I could see why that might be questionable, because then Google might say, hey, you can't do that with Chrome extensions. You can't reward activity in Chrome extensions with dollars. And ERC20 tokens, from a legal standpoint, are kind of like currency. They're basically like a dollar bill from a legal standpoint. They have value. There's nothing like we could do something really shady, and I could completely see them getting in front of that and saying, you can't do that. You can't just like give people money. Because yeah, maybe an OmatumBuck token is only worth like a billionth of a penny. But what if we went in and stuck a lot of money inside of the token? If we attached a bunch of Ethereum to the token, converted a bunch of Ethereum to the token, whatever, and now that thing's worth $1 million, it could be a problem. Convert bits to OmatumBucks. Well, I think, Alex, we can do things like if you cheer, our bot, I have to look, but I don't think that there's anything that says that those cheer points don't immediately convert into OmatumBucks, right? So you could cheer to us, which results in you earning OmatumBucks, not the one that you see in the corner here, not this Twitch reward version. But I have to look into it. I think we could do that. I don't see why not. Hi, Nerdly. Oh, you ready to learn? Well, I'm ready to stumble through things, buddy. So good. So I wanted to do something too before we get started, or as we get started. I didn't have any time to really look into what my options were to pull this off, but I listened to somebody yesterday that said they wanted, or it was hard for them to see the screen. And so what I did is I went and watched a bunch of other coding channels and coding streams and tried to see if anybody else is doing what I'm doing, which is this crazy thing where we have like 4 monitors up on the screen at once. And I can understand this might be hard to see. And I also understand that if I'm working on a screen over here and I'm doing work in a product here, and I come over here because with my mouse and I'm like, hey, I'm going to change the background color of that, whatever you call that thing that's there. I'm not making sense right now. If I was going to change the background color of this white thing, I mean, even just doing that, like how jarring that is, right? It's a little jarring to kind of switch back and forth. So why don't we just try this for a little while? And you guys tell me if it sucks. But why don't we do it on one screen for a little bit? It sucks for me a little bit because I like working on a lot of screens, but I'm more interested in making this experience good for you guys. So I'm going to take this code thing. I'm going to just give it half the screen here. We no longer have to use what I would call old person code font size here. I'm going to get this down to something a little more reasonable like that. Does that look okay for you guys? Can you read that okay? Oh boy, there we go. So can we read all the fonts decently? Tell me if it's too small. Okay. So let me take a look at the preferences. And I'm just going to, every time I put notes in here, it deletes it. So it looks like font size 12, which is, easy to read. Yeah, and now you could make your head have less padding. Yeah, I could do that. Like on this screen. Yeah, so let me fix that. crop that in. Hold on. Bear with me, because we're about to go into the matrix of what this looks like on my end. Nerdly, you're on a phone, so everything's tiny, but you can read it on a phone now, right? Versus you couldn't before. Filters. Crop pad. Oh boy. I don't know if this is going to crop it on all the screens. Let me just try it right here. Try Alt-click and drag the corner. Ah. Do something more like that. Okay. And let's see, did that screw it up on all the other screens? No. Okay, good. So when we go to this screen, it's big again. This screen, big again, big again. Yeah, that looks like it works, guys. Thanks for the OBS tip. Do you stream too, Dropout? Interesting. Hold on a second. Cool, man. So now we got a little more space for activities on that screen. And I wouldn't really even be opposed to making it tinier than that, but that'll help too, because when we cut these things down, that mic is not fun to work with. It's just like this mic stand here, this thing. It's not fun for the guys in the other room when they have to edit it. Well, I would hope you'd have stuff with the name Dropout Dev. So as long as this font is a good size, what's funny is like this font being this size and in a shorter window, I can actually see more code. So that's great. I'm just going to give this a little more room. That's too much room. Okay. And let's just see how this works out, right? Let's just see. I would love if there was a way to like resize both. Well, hold on. Did it just do that? Oh, what? What was that? Did you just see that? I can resize both the windows at the same time. Oh boy. What? But it doesn't lock into the center of the screen. Did you guys know you could do that? I did not realize that was a thing. It's only if you drag the windows to the side. Oh, so because I said I have two windows here. Windows and arrow. Hold on, what does that do? Oh boy. What? Look at it dance. Look at that nice little code dance. Okay. Cool. I'm learning stuff today. That's a pretty cool little feature. I'm going to move that all the way over here as we're working on this. So you can kind of see this as a sidebar. Down here, you'll see that little guy. Just making sure nothing's cut off for you guys. I mean, it's a little cut off at the top, but you guys don't really need to see. You don't need to see that file name, do you? Maybe there's something I can do to make this guy up here a little bit taller. Probably not. Can I just make that a little bit shorter? Like that. What am I using for auth? I don't know at this point. I was looking at a piece of software called but once you do that, look at that. It no longer lets you do that little fun thing. I was looking at a piece of software called oh boy. Magic, but it seems prohibitively expensive. So not going to use it. We were considering doing Google auth calls, and just use Google OAuth. That might be the way we go, because I don't need it though. I don't need to know what your Google account is, but it's just way easier to just be like, hey, yeah, you hit the button, you got a Google account, and you go. So we did some of the login stuff. Hold on. Let me hook this up a little bit. So it says log out. Let's just do login so we can see what that looks like. Save that. Is that just, oh, we didn't hook up the JavaScript to do this yet. All right, let me just do that. Log in. So this is what we figured would make an okay sign up form. Oh boy. And we're already running into trouble with this thing. Boop. Boop. And you would just hit that button and you'd go. Done. Just boop. And you go. JWT, yeah. Probably something like that. Yep. Google OAuth, they just handle that crap, right? And you're fine. You're fine. You just store the stuff and off you go. But the thing I was looking at today was called magic linking, which is essentially a decoupling. So what you do is you enter an email in your phone, or like in your what's the other thing? Your email and your browser. They just send you a link and you click it, and once you click it, you're logged in. Which we could roll. I was looking at this thing as a service and thinking like, okay, that's cool. Is it free? And it's not free. It's not cheap. It's not super expensive, but it's not cheap. It's like $960 a year outside of their free trial. So it's like a little expensive for a small app to use. And to be honest, you can roll that. You can roll an email-based, link-based login system really easily. So I don't know why they're charging so much. Probably to get, people who think it's cool. But I thought that was a cool way to log in. I'm a big fan of passwordless login. Because I think at this point, I am storing everything I can possibly store in LastPass. Ordinarily, you say, like, a big fan of what's already been done. Magic links, they're not hard. All you do is you say this user requested authorization, generate them a little token. You send the token to them in a link. If they click the link, they consume the token. The token disappears, and logs them in, gives them a session and logs them in. What you don't have to do when you have that sort of stuff is you don't have to validate passwords. You don't have to store passwords. You don't have to do password resets. Nothing. It's a passwordless system. We used it for Badger, right? It was pretty good system, All right. We're going to jump into this. We made the mistake yesterday of skipping design and going right into prototype design dev combo mess thing. So now we're in it, and we're just going to keep going. Let me see where we were. I think we were starting to work on the UL here. Oh boy. I have the most unreadable CSS on the internet. Deal with it. I like to see a lot of code at once. LIs. Okay, so we have these things set up. Let's do a hover state on them first. So if they get hovered, let's do a little. They move in a little bit, right? That'd be cool. We have a transition on them already, so we have a padding right. What if we just set the padding right to 20 pixels when you hover? That'd be kind of like, oh yeah, look at that bad boy. Just a little quick bingo bango right there. A little slidey boy. It's kind of nice. Very nice. How do I feel with this formatting? That's a good question. I like it. I really like it. Like I've told this story before, Haxified, but I'll tell it again. When I got started on the web, there was no CSS. Okay. So just keep that in mind. I'm sure some of us were in the same boat, that there was no CSS. Everything was inline attributes. There wasn't even styles, right? It's just you'd write things like font around words to change the color of them, right? And like just sort of bananas, Wild West crap. Eventually they added CSS. And when I first started into CSS, there was no processors, there was no minifiers, there was no nothing to manage your cascade and to get it smaller, right? So a thing that we were taught to do was to write CSS in a single line, because back then phones were on God knows what slow connection, right? Like it's like first generation phone data plans, right? That had data caps in the megabytes. You had a lot of people still using dial up, and you had a lot of latency in the code, So we actually, we were taught to do this, and I didn't know to do this for a long time. And a guy that I really looked up to was like, you got to write it like this. He's like, you're not a pro unless you write everything in one line. So it's never broken. And I got really used to this. I developed like this for 4 or 5 years in a professional setting, like in the mid 2000s. And it's stuck because there was nobody saying you should do it the other way. And then minifiers came out and processors came out, and it ended up being like, oh, you hit a button when you're done developing, and gulp or whatever comes in and changes it all to as little characters as possible and all that stuff. And nowadays it doesn't even matter, right? The amount of people, the extra character you get from hitting enter right there, it doesn't even matter. that doesn't even register, right? So I've never broken it, man. And now my eyes are so adjusted to seeing CSS like this that really I rely on coloring a lot. Like I couldn't do this if it was all the same color, right? But I just rely on those colors to guide my eyes in to the line. And then I can read this whole block at once because my eyes have adjusted to just absorb all of that text at one time. Don't always get it right, but I can usually hunt down whatever I need to change in less than, 1/10 of a second. And I think it can be argued that like something like this is a heck of a lot more legible than when you put it all in a big stack, because the big stack, you have to scroll through it. And like, would you prefer 122 lines of code, or would you prefer like 1,000? Because if I blew this out, I'd probably be up to 1,000 for all this stuff, right? Is the at a CSS? Yes, yeah, it's a CSS thing. It's the at or the ampersand is self-referential. So we create a block here called button bar, and then that's opening the block up right there. And then the ampersand is saying, it's basically saying dot button bar again. It's just saying whatever this says. So just writing another rule for it. Yeah. All right, let's keep going though. So if we look at this, that looks pretty sweet. Let's do, we can light the border up when it goes in. So once it goes in, let's do border right 5 pixels solid. We already gave it here. Now we're going to give it a color. Let's do we'll start with the yellow, I guess. What is that going to be our highlight color? Yeah, looks pretty good. And then when you click it, it'll catch that state. So we'll do this also to say, and we're going to add one more thing. So if it has the class of active, we should watch that attached to the Word dashboard. Boom. Okay. Got it. That's pretty sweet. It's a little simple way to go through these things. Yeah. You understand hover and stuff, but why do it for base styles? Like, why do it here? Well, let's write that a different way. So if we wanted to write that without the ampersand, we do that, right? And then we would have to do this. And then we'd have to do this. Right. So you're really just, that's only the 2 letters LI. But what if it's not? What if it's bigger than the 2 letters of LI? I don't know. I get used to, it's a style thing, man. It's like I get used to this. And there's nothing wrong with it, so I keep doing it. You can argue it's wrong, but at that point, you're arguing like Coke versus Pepsi, Let's see. Now that we got that in, what is our next step here? I think we're literally into the point where we can start building our content stacks in. So if we take a look at this guy, our dashboard isn't really done yet because we're going to have this like base dashboard thing go in. But our nav and stuff is done. So really nothing to check off quite yet. Let's get a bit of JavaScript in here to make it so these open up different pages. So this one's supposed to load something called dashboard content. We're going to come over here and we're going to make a new file for that. Dashboard Am I making files? No. What the heck? We'll save that. Dashboard content. Hit them all. There we go. And we're just going to do, I'm the dashboard now. There you go. And then we're just going to make sure we can load it in here. Now, I think I told you guys we're going to kind of shunt this in because we don't want to go through the whole process of, we're basically going to create injections, but I don't want to do this in PHP right now. Let's do it all in HTML. So we need we have a content loader here, and all we're going to get this thing to do is it's going to go grab the content of dashboard content HTML, jam it in a content loader, and that's how it's going to work. So we're going to keep making these things. We need another one for redeem points. Oh, that's not how you spell HTML. That's HTML. It's an old potassium-based HTML file. There we go. And we need another one for redeem tokens and how to earn. Oh, jeez, come on. PHP. Yeah, I mean, PHP for something like this is great because all we really want to do is say keep everything here and then just load some content in here. So that's PHP includes all day. And PHP I can turn on in 2 minutes, a minute. Like, and just have a little web server working. But I'd rather just do it all in JavaScript because this is a clear prototype. Okay, so first up, let's get dashboard content loaded in. Now, there's nothing I can do other than an iframe to shunt that in. I don't know. I mean, we could try it. I think the problem with an iframe is it's going to load too much. But maybe I'm wrong. Save that. Oh boy. That is a straight up no. Dashboard content, boom. I'm the dashboard content now, easy peasy. Let's do, well, we've got to see, let's just set some things on that. Let's set an ID, the iframe. And let's give that a little bit of just assuredness that that is what we want it to be. Let me see something else too. So if we're saying we're just going to load dashboard content, hit them all. I think we're probably fine there. Let's put this inside of a div just to make sure we can talk to it. This isn't exactly how we want to do this. I just want to get a quick check. So content loader iframe. Let's take the dashboard content and just give a background color to it. How about salmon? I don't see it. Okay, the salmon not a maybe isn't a valid color. Peach. No. How about just red? No. Okay. So that should have that on there, but it's not passing anything through. Yeah, it's just jamming in like a fake head. It's an HTML fragment. Yeah. Inner HTML. Yep. But at that point, no thanks. Yeah, we'll just replace. Bingo. We'll just do an inner HTML replacement. Yep. iframe is not going to be the way. That's cool. Just doing prototyping. Oop, save that. Alrighty. So now we're going to need just a little bit of prototype JavaScript. We'll name it prototype stuff.js because why not? Oh boy. Why? Sorry. the dumb things happen day to day. JS prototype stuff. Now, we could do this with the vanilla JavaScript. Sure, we could if we wanted to. Or we could load in jQuery. What do we want to do here? I kind of want to load in jQuery just so I don't have to stumble. Yeah, I'm loading jQuery up. Screw you guys. It's jQuery time. People still use it. I'm one of the 15 people that still use it. Grab that. Let's grab the biggest version. No, I could compress production. Sure. What is the slim build? You don't get Ajax or effects. Oh. Do I care? It's a prototype. Oh boy. Give me that. They're just like, you don't download the file though. We're just going to give it to you. Yeah, that's a good point, TypeScript, that jQuery makes sense because it's faster for me, right? Bingo. Let's just save this and never look at it again. Okay, and let's reload the page. Okay. Now we'll go into prototype stuff and let's wire some stuff up. So first we want these buttons to load things in. So we're gonna, we're probably gonna want a doc ready state document ready function boop 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 bind stuff boop boop. We're just making a little function that waits until the document's set up to start executing some JavaScript. Does define the function. And I'm naming this like a guy that's doing a prototype. Just FYI. So we got to target those things. Now, luckily, we did some things on buttons to say, hey, those should do things. So we say, hey, data button on click. Let's run this function. I could be using another function writing, but I don't feel a need to. So we're going to say we need to get some things out of that. So we're going to do a, well, let's be smart. Let's do a let. You guys are winning me over with this thing. Let page target equal the thing that's inside of that, this thing that was clicked. Attribute data loads. I think that's it. No, it's attr. attr is a get. And now we're going to set a target for where that's going to go. So we're going to say content loader dot HTML is now going to equal the page target, but we have to grab it. Got to grab it. So what do we do to grab that in jQuery? Get hitable equals, oh, it's a thing. It's probably like a dollar thing like this. Load? Maybe. I got to look it up. There's definitely a little thing. It just goes out there. There we go. Dot load. Boom. So does it load? Oh, you don't even, we can skip this. So we just say load that into this. Perfect. All right. Save that. It does nothing. Okay. Let's look at the console. DevTools failed that thing. Yeah, that's no problem. What happened here? Data, oh, data type equals button. I'm going to change these to say nav button because they're going to be a little bit different than the other buttons. Just so we can kind of differentiate this a little bit. Nav button. Okay, okay. Close that. There we go. Boom. We got it. That's pretty much the gist. Now, if we want to talk to this thing, we're going to need to say, well, I don't think we're going to say like change the content any other way. I don't think we're going to say something like, oh, don't worry about it. Like we're not going to put IDs inside of here, but we can write any HTML we want to in there and it should load in. So let's just see dashboard content here with an ID. Let's just make sure we're selecting that. I'm the dashboard content now. We got it over there and background color of red. Boom. There we go. We're going to want to probably do some things to get that content loader a little bit taller. Height 100% probably wouldn't be bad. And that'll at least give it that stuff to work with. Give it position of relative. And if we wanted that to go to 100%, now we could. You say height 100%. And we're going to get that full red background. Looks great. Okay. Good. Well, that part's handled. So we could start working out the actual dashboard now. Like, what is that going to look like? Give myself a little more space here. Let's get rid of that stupid background color of red. We don't need you anymore. And let's go into the dashboard content and let's just give this a generic class to say this is more or less going to be the data loaded into the panel. And get rid of this. Now we do want to load that first one in. So when we land on dashboard.html, I'm going to have it trigger and do the load automatically. And we probably, before I move on, let's do a couple more things here. Let's do bind stuff. So let's get it to trigger bind stuff. And when it binds, let's just have it. We could do this better, but we're just going to do a trigger. So we're just going to call that button after it's bound. See if that does it. Nope. What am I missing here? There's space there. Nope. I messed something up there. Let's just do... Huh. Oh, you know what? It was doing it. It was doing it. I blinked this thing out. Oh, maybe it wasn't doing it. Uh-oh. Now it's doing it. Okay. And let's get this little active state to attach to. There we go. Easy peasy. So by doing that, you're essentially just saying, like, it's a little easier, I think, to write this kind of stuff in jQuery. I'm not a big proponent of writing an app in jQuery per se, but I'm a big proponent of these selectors and stuff like that. Come on, like DOM traversal is so easy and so fast, and people who argue against that, it's like you don't really have an argument. Come on. I feel like I have to defend jQuery. That's the thing that got me to where I am today. All right. So we have a panel. What do we need to get in this panel? I don't even know. We definitely need those flash messages. So we're going to do an extension check still, and we're still going to do an integrations check. So the extension check is going to see whether or not we have the users installed the extension or not, right? If they haven't installed the extension, they haven't claimed points for it, we'll offer them some points to install the extension, do a link to the Google Play Store where you can install it. Once it's installed, this flash message will disappear. So that's easy peasy. And the int check, the integrations check, is to see if you've connected your Twitch and your Discord, because if you haven't connected your Twitch and your Discord, we can't reliably track points there. And we can't just say like put any name in. I think we legitimately are going to have to get an auth grant. You know, Nick just told me I can use jQuery in Vue. What? Are you serious? I can use... Oh, you won me over. That's an integration after my own heart. If I could use jQuery inside of Ruby, oh baby. Not like as inside of a Rails app as part of Rails. No, I'm talking like I'm writing Ruby code and I'm just slinging jQuery on top of it and it's running. Everybody started developing in Node. Like, no, we should have just developed complicated web apps around jQuery. Because as funny as this is, we just made the bare workings of an SPA, of a single page app, in what, like 4 lines of code? Come on. Can't beat that with a stick. Anyways, let's load in these flash messages. Now, the flash messages are going to... They're probably going to precede any sort of real content, but we're just going to stick them on the dashboard for now, but they would be persistent. So let's do flash, call them a flash message or something. And inside of here, let's just say these are going to have a title, I guess. And we'll say extension not detected and some copy in here. I'm going to say this inside Flashcard. We'll call this the message. We didn't detect the Chrome extension, the OmatumBucks Chrome extension, OmatumBucks Chrome extension, which you can use to get more OmatumBucks. Installing the extension will remove this message. Okay. And then the action. Yeah, the action I think is always going to be a button, and there could be multiple buttons. So this will say, get the extension from the Play Store or something. Is that what that's called? The extension store? Well, let's just say get the extension. Because maybe we could, as time goes on, be like, hey, you're using Firefox and we have a Firefox extension, and just detect Firefox and send them over to the Firefox store or whatever in the world they have. All right, so now we got extension not detected. Let's do some quick skissy skiss on this. Let's do Flashcard. Boop, boop. Start hitting. It's going to happen. Let's do a width of, well, first of all, I just want to make sure. Let's do some stuff to the panel really quick. Let's just give this a width. Let's just make sure it knows it's a block. It's a width of 100%, a height of 100%. Let's give it a little bit of a background color. Not much. That's not how you spell that word. Let's give it a rigba. Make it close to, let's start with black and then 0.99, just a little gray. Nope, that was the opposite direction, 0.01. Okay, let's move it in just a little bit. Or we can make it dark. Why don't we make it dark? A nice dark blue or something. Yeah, like that. Looks like your hacker man now. Give it a little bit of blue. That's too much blue, Greg. Let's do 10. Yeah. Yeah. All right. You can use Chrome extensions in almost all browsers, including Firefox and Brave. That's amazing. So in Firefox, we would just need to publish to both places, correct, Nick? So we would have one published thing so you could install into Chrome, or does Firefox literally load it up from Chrome's download? That's really helpful to know that. Okay. It's a little too much blue. Just bring it back just a little bit. There you go. So it's subtle. Just something to give it a little bit of a tint. Let me do it to the other one too. So that's nav rigba. Just walk it in. Walk in the rigba. Looks fine. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Nick. That's going to save us a lot of time. Like a ton. So it's just, that's nice to know we only have to develop that one time. All right. So the flashcard, what do we have to do here? Well, we got it all fixed for height wise and stuff like that in the panel, just because we know it's going to be this whatever thing. I'm going to do rigba and then do a white color on all the fonts just by default. White-ish color. Let's do 0.8. There we go. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hold on a second. That's the way. Why are we getting user selects on these things? Oh, I know why. Let those guys light up. It's kind of nice. All right, so a flashcard has got to be able to stack. So you have to have multiple of them. It needs to live above an interface. It doesn't go on top. That's like a bad pattern to do a fixed one that just sticks on top of the like as a position absolute or something like that, or something that z indexes up. So you literally just want it being obtrusive from the top of the UI. And I think we need to start probably setting up some boundaries and things for those. So let's just first start dialing in. Is it if I give it a background color, what is it going to look like? We'll give it the red that we have. Okay, so it blocked out. That's great, but we don't really want that. Let's do a width of 95%. Yeah, we want it centered up. But I don't think I want to center it like that. I think what we're going to do is we're going to create a Flash container. Like that. And that way we'll just contain in. I'm going to ID that too. So I can inject those from push notifications if I need to. The Flash container won't have any height, any width, nothing like that. The panel is going to get some padding. So instead of doing width 95% here, I'm just going to remove that. And then we're going to say, let's pad this in. Just give it a nice flexible padding. 2.5% of what? Nobody knows. Could do like view height, I guess, or view width, but that's weird. We'll just let that just be whatever it wants to, just wherever you want to get the percentage from, you go and get that percentage. Extension not detected. Okay, so now we're gonna build this out a little bit. Let's take that and just make it a border. One pick solid BRS, boom, like that. Nope, that's not the red color. That's the red color. Let's do some padding on the box. This time we're gonna use pixels because it'll make more sense here. There we go. I am not a fan of relative units at all. I think whenever that trend started, I'm still blown away by it. I think it's the weirdest thing that we all like just collectively people were like, yeah, sure. Let's do that. Let's have everything be in these weird relative units that you're never going to be able to control. It took the part of my brain that for years and years and years had been told, control everything on the page as tightly as you can, and destroyed that part of my brain. Make that big, and let's give it some weight. It's a little big. Oh boy, come on. So this is happening yesterday. Whenever it tries to change the font weight, it doesn't stick for some reason. Oh, why does this happen like this though? Sticks the second time around. That's cool. I'm going to give that a little bit of a background color, not a ton. So we want transparent ties. This is a SCSS function that's going to go in and figure out transparency on a color, so we don't have to come up with an RGBA or anything like that. So 0.5. Aha. Let's do 0.1. Okay, so 90% transparent. There we go. Okay, so let's take the title and make that nice and bright white. Let's give that a little margin. Okay. Let's take the flash message. I'm gonna change these over to links real quick. Let's make that message a little bit smaller. A little more line height. Too much line height. And let's margin bottom down that little button. All right, now we just have a button to do. Little inline block so we can control it a little better. Let's start working this in with just a hard background color so we can sort of see it. Let's put some padding on it. Oh, I get this backwards every single time. It's like a clock, right? Remove that underline thing, the ugly underline thing. Give it a color. Now we're going to use something different than white, so maybe hold off on the color for a second. Let's text transform that into uppercase so it looks nice and sweet. Let's give that some letter spacing. And let's drop the font size. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little too much. Give it a little more font weight. Since I changed the font weight. Well, we didn't have to switch it this time. I thought I'd have to change that up. little too much padding. I'm going to bring that back. You know what? I got an idea. We're going to leave it like that. Let's give this a transition state now. Okay. Now, what color do we want this button to be? What would be the fun color? Black. Let's try that first. Just avoid. Background color of black just does not, that's not it. Let's try the yellow. It conflicts with the other one. What a nice blue. Ooh, I like that blue. Let's do that. So the color for that is probably going to be, ooh, what is that going to be? Probably blackish. Let's just plug in. Yeah, it's close. Let's move the padding down just a little bit. You know what? I think I might start this a different way. We'll see. I don't think that looks right. Like something about that just doesn't look right. A little too much letter spacing maybe. Yeah, okay. Now what if when you go to hover that, we'll pad it out a little bit more? What would that do? Not bad. What if we do that also with the letter spacing going out? Let's slow that down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So stupid. So stupid. Do we want that to reverse? I'm a little worried about reversing something like that. We'll try it. Let's just see. It's probably bad UX. Whoa. That did not do that correctly. So it starts at that and then goes to that. Whoa. Nope. Start this and go to this. It's a little weird. That's a weird button. That's what that is. Okay. Yeah, let's just do that one. It's a little get the extension. Okay. So you can't, we won't make it so you can tack out of this or anything, but that looks like, it looks like that'll work. Even if it's humongous, it's not, that's really not too bad. And tiny, it's fine. Like you get, like, but this isn't a cell phone app. So it's almost like this is one of these things where the responsive version of this is going to be like, go on your regular computer. Go onto something with a screen larger than 4 inches. The other one we need is, well, I'm curious if this is one, I think this is one per, so we'll have a Twitch not connected. You haven't connected your Twitch account, so you can't earn points by participating in chat on the live streams. Connect your account today. Yeah, sure. That sounds fine. So now we're getting into this a little bit. So we do know that the flashcards are going to require a margin bottom. Let's just give it a 20 pixel margin bottom. Go a little less. Yeah, that works. So for this one, we may actually want to do the, I hate this button now that I see it. We may want to do this a different way. Let me just do something a little bit different on this button. Let's go, this only goes to 75. We don't mess with the letter spacing. And let's change the background color. How do we darken in CSS? There, darken. Yep. Okay. DV and some amount, which this is never standard. Amount of 1, sure. What about 100? Oh boy, it's too much. 10. Why don't we just screw that? Let's just change it to a different color. We'll swap it. We'll swap the color, the font color and the background color. Oh, I think that's a pretty cool effect. Yeah. Kind of lose something there. Let me just give this a border, 1 pix solid. Nobody will know it's there until this other thing happens. Boom. Yeah. I don't know why. I like that effect. Just like a simple wired up thing. So for Twitch, do we want to stick the Twitch OAuth button in there? That's a little extra work we don't need to do. So we could just say, you know, connect Twitch. I mean, for that one, maybe we could do like Twitch colors for that. The blurple or whatever the hell it's called. Oh boy. Not what I was looking for, Twitchy. Just want the little, this thing. And literally just going to say, like, I'm pretty sure it's going to say something along the lines of, oh, all this does is make sure we know what your screen name is. So hopefully that there's like a mini grant that we can grab from that. Because probably this view your email address would be the easiest ones. And I guess we could view the paid subscriptions too if you guys don't. Well, I don't know if that's something everybody wants to expose. But we could, and that would give you, we could reward you and say, oh, you're subscribed to us, so here's some points. Or it multiplies your point value or something like that. Let's see. Do you have assets for me, Twitch, that I can use? Or is this just like, do whatever you want? Oh, we could make one. And that would be the hardest thing to make. Is this what it looks like when you log in? That's not Twitch's login, right? That's like an offsite connection. Oh no. So this is what we want. We want this link Twitch account thing. Yeah, connect with Twitch. Why would that not just be the first thing that would ever come up? That was not what I wanted, Twitch. What a weird thing to have trouble finding. Well, who cares? I guess we'll just grab the Twitch icon, slap it next to this thing. Make it blurple. Off we go. Oh, why are there's so many? There's so many of these things now. Where's the Twitch? I would rather get it from them. There. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I understand you made this page, but I just want the things that I came here for. There we go. Twitch brand assets.zip. I swear I downloaded this the other day. Let me see if I got it. Yep. So color palette, great. We're going to have to look at that. We probably get that from somewhere else. Logos, the glitch, word mark. What are these things? Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's just do the icon. Where would that be? Logos, glitch, purple, pingy boy. We could use the SVG. That. Okay. And that shouldn't hurt this whole process too much. So for something like that, we'll probably class this with Twitch button or something like that, and then we'll slam the image inside in a span next to this thing. We don't need to change any of the colors, so we just grab the SVG directly. How did that do that? I went to autocomplete that and it didn't. Okay, never mind. I screwed something up. Boom. Yep, perfect sized. That is perfect. Thanks. That's the exact size I wanted. So let's do Twitch button here. And now we're going to override a lot of those styles. Let's find out whatever Twitch's background color is. That may not have been the outcome that I wanted. That may just have been the incorrect way to do that. Oh, man. Okay, let me get a different, let me get the white icon. It's probably the one I want. Let me just throw that purple and then put purple behind it. Perfect. White. There we go. Be a little smarter about this. Yeah, we'll stick it in. It doesn't. It does, but look, it corrected it, Nick. It put it back in. Is that kind of funny? So maybe it doesn't need. Maybe that's an optional value now. Look, I mean, boom. Like we are gonna need to span both these things, so they sit next to each other nicely. Or, you know, who cares? Just don't sit next to each other. No big deal. Nobody cares. Let's get that not so huge. Let's control the width. You know, for this one, I think I'm actually going to do a little flex. I'm setting an inline flex. Boom. Because that's going to let me get these things lined up a little bit better. And what is the inherent? Oh, it's capitalized. Try to nail in some of these styles a little bit more. I don't think we need justify content. Get rid of that. We're gonna get rid of some of this padding, I think, too. Ooh, that actually looks pretty cool. It's humongous, but it looks cool. Let's make it a little less humongous. I don't mind that button being bigger. I do want that to go to white, though. And a little less padding. That's a little too much. That's a little much for that. A little bit bigger of a font. Boop. Yeah. Well, that gets a little wide. Fix that. But that's the gist. Neat. Okay. Let's do one more. We're going to do the only other one that I know about is the Discord one. Discord. I haven't connected your Discord account. So you can't earn points by participating in chat. In the community chat. Connect your account today. It's like I'm trying to sell you something. All right, so we need Discord's blue. I'm going to change this from Twitch button to, oh, it's still going to have Twitch button, but we're going to add one more thing called icon button. And we're going to extract away the icon parts that make that work. Just do this really quick. So Twitch button, the only stuff on that is specifically for Twitch is the color scheme. So what we do here is we're just going to move, well, that stays, but the inline flex, the line items, capitalized, letter spacing, the text color, the padding, and the font size are all shared. And the hover is shared. And the image sizing is shared. Yep. So really it was just that one thing. Cool. All still works. So now we go to do the Discord button. We'll just plug it right in. The Discord blue is that's sort of a purpley thing too. That's the one that's called Blurple. Why are we inventing? Maybe they're going to trademark that. They have to invent the color name. And of course, no RGBA for you. Oh, we don't even need RGBA on that one. Let's do that. You have to do old school hexy colors unless you want to eyedropper that thing. Whatever happened to HSL? That never took off. It's very easy to work with once you get the hang of it. Just move that into our Discord thing. Our Discord spot for images. Let's see. Perfect. Autocomplete. Nice autocomplete there. Save that. Well, it doesn't say the right thing, but that's what we want. Connect Discord. I almost want to say it's not connect, it's link. That's all we're doing. We're not, yeah. It's a better way to describe it. Cool. So we have that stuff going. Cool. You know, I almost feel like the height would have been the better thing to restrict these by. because the width is a little off. These are tall boys too. Very tall. Could round it a little bit, but no, let's not do that. All right, so these things would follow you around. I think that that's kind of a critical thing to remember, is that you'd be on all these different pages and these things would constantly follow you around. So they're huge, right? We might want to consider making them a little bit smaller because they don't go away until you do the action. So how could we make them smaller? Well, we could flexbox up here and stick this button to the right. So on one half of this, you get the text, the message. On the other half, you have the resolution that you could do. We could bring the size of everything way down as well. My issue will be is if you're not wanting to open this up in a full screen, that 50-50 thing is not going to work great. Yeah, I don't know. Let's leave it alone for now. It's not the end of the world, because I think someone that's using this is going to quickly, like very quickly, they're going to be like, oh, okay, hit that button, and that button's going to, whoa, don't keep doing that. That button's going to be like, okay, here's your thing to download this, and you hit the down, and once it's downloaded, we'll have the extension do a detection, and if it detects you're on our website, then boom, remove it. The same thing for Twitch. We'll have that. Maybe you go through it, brings you over to Twitch auth, and then once you're auth, it brings you back here. That's removed. Yeah. Okay. We'll just leave that then. Let's make another thing here. It's going to be more of a test mode. I don't want to see these flashcards everywhere I go. So I'm going to take the flash container panel thing and call it something else. Just Control-Shift-S. Call it flash test.html. And then we're going to take the dashboard content thing, just reset it. Why didn't this update? Oh, is that going to be a thing? That when this updates, it won't update this? Yeah, crap. Can't believe we just realized that. I just realized that. I think I can tell preproc to trigger a reload. Maybe not. Well, that's one negative thing to doing it this way, for sure. I prefer if that, like actually did the reload. Well, anyways, got flash test over here. Let's just, I'm just going to put it somewhere. I'm just going to say if I click this thing, load flash test up. I don't know maybe if I click the icon. Again, just for my testing. So I open up nav. Nav was it dashboard, not nav. Okay. And then at the bottom here, we've got this. So then we just have to mark it up. We say data type is nav button. And then it loads this page. Oh, hold on a second. Looks like preproc just stopped because that's the page it's on. Let me reopen this. It like lost the file watcher or something. Oh, come on. Is this the game we play today? Come on. Give it. Nope. Give this to me. There we go. I'm just going to make a quick change to this. See what it does. Okay, yeah, it's reloading again. Is it doing it for this stuff too, though? Yeah, okay, it is. All right, so let's work on the actual dashboard now. For the dashboard itself, I think we have to really consider like what a user would want to see. I think it's pretty simple. Like, we have this kind of thing saying this is the points, you've earned points. They see that over in the left. I think the easy thing to show them is like how they earned it. So maybe a table that says you got some points, this is how you got them. And then we could do a chart up top that shows the points over time, maybe, or something like this. I think that could be a pretty simple thing. And we could maybe use this as a place to show other things. Should probably take some notes. Like new things you can redeem. So let's do a graph of points, of point balance. Which could also go under redeem points, to be honest. So maybe that's point earnings, which could also go under ways to earn. Let's just put the kitchen sink in, and then we'll pull it back. Graph of point earnings, graph of point balance, table of point transactions, table of point, what would that be? Point earnings, because maybe it's not transactions, it's just the one-way earnings thing. We could do some news kind of stuff where you say new ways, or number of things we're going to detach the YouTube extension, so we're not going to have a number of ways you can earn. Because we would have been able to be like, you have 5 videos you could go watch. We're not going to do that anymore. So news could be newest store item or a featured panel, maybe just a featured panel that we could update with whatever we wanted to update with. What else could we have in here? We have the ability to redeem points, totally separated out, which is where I think it should be. We have the ability to redeem tokens, which will probably not be something we keep doing because on account of the ability, the fact that may cause trouble for us. We'll see. That's a real we'll see kind of situation if we're gonna keep doing that. So if we just had dashboard, redeem points, and ways to earn kind of makes sense as its own page. It's a little information saying like, with the extension, you can do this. And if you watch our Twitch stream and you're helpful or whatever, every so often you'll get recognized for the help. If you're in our Discord and you're helpful or whatever, every so often you'll be recognized for that. If you go above and beyond on something, we can recognize you. So really, I think the dashboard is a pretty graph. But other than your balance and your earning velocity and a table showing you that information, I can't think of anything else to stick in there. So I feel like there is a featured panel. This belongs on the dashboard. The table of point earnings, I do think that goes to ways to earn. I'm sorry, it does sit on the dashboard because ways to earn is just going to be an info page. It's not going to be interactive or anything like that. So the table of where you've earned is probably a dashboard feature for sure. The table of the point transactions, that would be like spending. That would almost be spending your points. I think that goes under redeem. The graph of the point earnings would go on dashboard. The graph of the point balance would go on redeem. So we're starting to separate this out a little bit. And now that we have it a little bit separated, let's make it a little more separated. Let's think. Is there anything else we could be adding in? The featured panel, I'm more or less thinking is a square. We could have another one that's like news, but I don't anticipate writing any news. So newest store item, if we're going to do just that definitely goes over to redeem. Store items, just in general, on redeem. A newest store item may be on redeem or on the actual merch site, right? Like we may just have a thing that says click here to go to our merch site. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good to get started on. So for a graph point, let's find a graph library to do that. Instead of saying, hey, let's draw a graph. This is not mission critical application here. What I'm looking for is probably just a area chart. Oh God, not D3 though. Let's not use D3. Chart.js, take a look. 8 chart types. Wonderful. There's always, with these chart things, there's always like, oh, you want to use that chart? That's $800. Everything else free. That one's $800. Let's see. Yeah, just a little one of these guys. One of these situations. What I like about this is it's very easy to plug it in. Like, it's in, we're done with it. We can make it better in the future, but this is going to be like a 2-second add-in. Oh boy, just so many charts. Oh boy. So we'll do boundary line chart. Is that, I always thought these were called something else. But that's the one I want. Let me just see. Can we make it look prettier? It's inside a canvas. So I believe that is, we could, but it's going to not be fun to make that look prettier. It's going to be a pain in the butt. Let me see if there's anything else. Old Plotly. Oh, we're, geez, building stuff with this font. Are we? What font is this? Whatever font this is, never use this. Just, it's not a bad looking font. Campaign. It's weird. It's like a 1960s poster font being used for body copy. Basic charts. I feel like this is going to be overkill. I'm going to keep going. Basic. We have area. We have line, but we don't have area. We have filled area plots. Oh boy. What is that? Probably canvas again. That's SVG. So SVG we can do. We can easily go in and change an SVG. See, very easy. So that's not the worst looking code either. So a basic chart is just you supply the X's and the Y's. That's not the best. I would like to see that a little smarter than that. Do they have an example where they have dates or anything? Let me just be very picky about my free software. Thank you. Yeah, let's find something else. Yeah, you lost me with your use of a weird font. Well, TinyScript D3, yeah, if I want more control over it and I want to spend 2 days sticking it in, D3 is the way to go. I don't want that much more control. I just want essentially what Chart.js does, but you know what? I didn't even check. I want chart.js, but with SVG. They might have an SVG mode, for all I know. Nope. Not that I see there. High charts. Or Chartist. Let's look at Chartist, considering it's completely free. Oh, okay. Chartism was a working class male suffrage movement for political reform in Britain that existed from 1838 to 1857. Okay. And then 1858, nobody cared anymore. 20 years is all it got. Oh, fun. What is going on with this guy? He's like, what? I can't. I'm sorry, I have no comments for this. It's like Hitler with a hat and a pitchfork. Why would you be graphing this? This might be Hitler. How many people were killed in the Holocaust? 6 million? It's like, well, if we go down this way, we only get to kill. Oh, come on. They did it. They made Hitler with a chart. All right. Gonna want to cut that one out of the video, probably. So we have these charts, which I can't tell if these are images of the charts or the charts. Svg Animations. Okay, cool. Oh, here we go. Whoa, baby. See, this is why we kept looking. Because these look so much better. Whoa, baby. Look at that thing. Oh, it's just going to look so good. And we're going to just grab this and stick it in there. Let's see the code for one of these things. See if I can find something. There we go. Show me the code for this. Where is the code? Everything else I can see the code for. Oh, no, it's this one I can see the code for. So the data is going to have to get, well, we got to do this, I guess. That's going to have to get assembled, probably server side, and then fed in with your session or something. And then boom. Not going to be fun, but we can do it. So we just feed it labels, and you can see it adds that label in. So we'll need to assemble all the, first you assemble the calendar days, I guess. And then you have to have a matching array, matching length array. That's going to be the data, and it will just plot the rest of it out for you. Pretty cool. So we're going to make some fake data for this thing and jam it in. And I guess we could do, you could have resolution on it too. You could say, we could provide day by, well, we'll figure that out in a second. But I think maybe for every graph, we'll do graph rules. We'll do I don't know, month. Let's just think. What's the standard ones you see on all the graphs? So if we look up the stock market. Daily is probably a little too tight, but we could probably do 1 month resolution, 6 month resolution. We could do year to date, which is a little weird. 1 year is probably okay. 5 years, and then max, I guess. Max isn't too hard to do. Oh, look at that Rona. This guy was doing so well. This thing was just doing so well, and then boop, Rona, 19,000. It's getting back. It's getting back up there. You guys see the Tesla earnings yesterday? Holy potatoes. My wife has a lot of Teslas. No, actually, no, she has Amazon stock. But she had, they're doing well too. I have a lot of Tesla stock. Not a lot. I'd take that back. I couldn't convert it into a Cybertruck. But I have Tesla stock, so I kind of like watching it. They crushed yesterday. So let's see, 5 days. That right there, that bump right there was from earnings being reported, which is a lot. And then it's back down because Elon Musk is saying things. Elon Musk says orders to stay at home are fascist in an expletive-laced rant during Tesla earnings call. Okay, well, maybe don't, there was good news in the earnings call, and that's what happened. But Tesla earnings came in. Let me see if I can pull them. I don't know if any of you guys are interested in this stuff. I I think it's amazing when companies beat by a lot, and they did. They beat their revenue target. This isn't the right one. Where is the one I'm looking for? Yeah, 2% beat on a revenue target during what's going on right now. That's crazy. I don't think this is the most recent one, though. Let's do Tesla earnings. They don't even, Google's like, you don't need to see that. There you go. So this is what smacked it. They were expected to get a loss of, their EPS was expected at a loss of 37 cents per share, and they went to $1.24 positive. So on an earnings report, they usually do percentages, like this is how far we were off, and they were off by like 900% on that. So people saw that big number and just started buying stocks like crazy yesterday. Elon Musk, if you just happen to have some bot out there that just searches things, you send me over one of those Cybertrucks. I'll drive that thing every day. But you gotta calm down on Twitter, man. You just gotta take a break. All right, let's grab this thing. Oh, it's gonna be one of these things. Okay, fun. It's a do-it-yourself distribution. So there's skis involved. Oh boy. Okay. There's this CSS, which I hope is just, yeah, we can just override this thing. So we'll grab that. We don't need the map. We need the JavaScript, but should we grab we probably should grab the raw JavaScript. Because when we publish apps, we can always do that. We could always do that whole minification thing at the very end. Tora, if I got a Cybertruck, I don't have anywhere to drive it. My house is, I don't know, a couple 100 feet away from the office. I would do it though. I would get in that Cybertruck. I'd park it in my garage every night and shine it up. And then when I had to go to work in the morning, I would jump in there, give it a nice little polish, jump in, blast the music, drive my 14 seconds to work, and love it the whole time. Just everyone would be staring because they'd be so jealous of me. Say, look at that man in his amazing Cybertruck. All right, so Chartist.js, that's what they would say. All right, so we got the chart library in. And now what else do we need? We need that little CSS, right, to tell this thing how to be a thing. Because I'm guessing it's got some base styles that come with it. Most of the charts at least kind of like they do the styling around the bounds, the bounding. So let's just grab that. Grab the raw boy. There you go. And then stick it in. I'm going to save it as SCSS. I guess we could have grabbed the SCSS, but who knows how that crazy person writes their SCSS files. I don't need to be seeing whatever they did in there. All right, and then in core, we're going to have to add back in the import. Save that. Okay, so now we should have that in there. The JavaScript, we could be doing the exact same thing with the JavaScript. Maybe we should do that. Let me do that because preprocess will build my JavaScript for me if I tell it to. Oh, there's some weird way to do this though. It's like a note that you write in the JavaScript, preprocess append maybe, and then the name of it. Maybe. No. Oh, it's so close. Yeah, you can do that too. But I like the append. There we go. Uh-oh. It says legacy. Do I have a paid license? Yeah. Yeah. So for pre-pros, I really liked the guy who made it. I paid for the license almost like that same day. Because I was like, oh man, this is pretty easy to use, right? I tend to pay for a lot of stuff, Tora. Just as my way of making sure people like that keep making stuff like that, you know? Okay, so we got all those in. We have to tell this thing to make the JavaScript. So we just say process automatically. Join add append. I wonder, does that really not, does that, what? I think that should do it. Nope, it doesn't. So now they have a little thing to do that. Oh, biggity biggity. What is this thing? That's the dist file. Okay. So now every time I save that pre-pros thingy majig, it'll do all the work. Now the minify.js sometimes can screw up on this. I don't know why. Maybe it's fixed at this point. But sometimes if you hit the minify.js, it screws it up. So I'm going to turn that off and reprocess it. I don't need it minified. Not yet. Don't need a source map. You almost have to be Bezos rich to buy the WinRAR license. I don't think it's ever happened. I don't think anyone in the history of ever. Maybe the government has to buy it for reasons. But what a weird model that whole thing was. It's such a critical technology, right? But you never, ever, 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 ever. I've never talked to anybody who's ever purchased that. You like 7-zip? Well, I like WinRAR because the name's better. 7-zip sounds like some cyberpunk drug that you inhale and then you can think faster, but it comes with this terrible cost that your fingers get really long and they're like, oh, that's the 7-zip guy. And he's got fingers that are like 3 feet long. Makes your fingers long. 7 inches long, 7-zip. But you love it because you can think really fast. And it's really good for people that need long fingers. Who needs long fingers? Flutists? The people that play the flute need long fingers. This was originally invented for at the Juilliard School. Then it got out into cyberpunk worlds. Years 2065 and everyone's hyped up on 7-zip. So stupid. What are we doing? So we're going to relink those JavaScript files. There we go. Now I'm going to do this. Just make sure everything still works. It does. Cool. Flash test. Boom. Looks good. Boop. So the corporations have to buy the license for WinRAR. Well, that's, I guess, why. Oh, that's a thing. Makes sense. Guys, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. But in the meantime, if you're like, what should I be doing while Greg's on break? Well, first of all, you're going to get to watch the sweet office camera where you can see the office. And second of all, if you're looking for a cool place to hang out, you don't have a place to call home on Discord, you can come over to our Discord and hang out and be friendly and all that. And we're friendly back. Not in sexual ways, but just in... I'll just forget I said things. There's a Discord link there. We also have a YouTube channel that we're really working really hard to grow, and we'd love it if we can just get, if you like watching content like this, imagine this content, but then cut down into a small version where you're seeing like highlights of the stream and things like that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make coding and development and design and product launching just as exciting and as fun as watching a game stream or watching like a real piece of content rather than these long streams where there's a lot of banging on the keyboard and all that, not getting things done. So if you want content like that, go on our YouTube channel. You can see like we have, we're posting fairly regularly Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But we are starting to build out what the channel is going to look like this project we're working on right now. We've got 4 episodes up right now, and they're all real tiny. Like that's 8 minutes or something cut down from hours. That's 25 minutes cut down from 6 hours. So you just get to see the highlights. It's really kind of cool. So go check it out. Tell your friends about it if you want. That'd be cool. But I'll be back in, let's say 10 minutes. See you guys soon. Boom, 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 boom. Just gotta throw this out there. I think that little webcam we bought was just like the best investment ever. So you guys don't get like a boring break screen when I'm on break. And so I can monitor the employees, because right now I can see that Rob is watching the stream, and he's not supposed to be watching that stream. he's not supposed to be watching it, but he's watching it anyways. Now he can watch it all he wants to. And oh, come on. Okay, so we're gonna try something out, and hopefully the feed doesn't drop or anything like that. They're gonna be casting an episode for review, and it's gonna hit that TV, and hopefully the Chromecast doesn't saturate the network. It shouldn't, and bring the stream down. Hopefully it doesn't. We're all, if you can see, we have wires. You see on like the above the whiteboard, you can start to see some of the wires. We have this amazing looking Ethernet situation in here where we hardwired the whole network except for the Chromecast stuff. We didn't hardwire the TV. So that's the only thing that goes over Wi-Fi in this whole place. And it's possible it brings everything down. I don't know. How's it going, Jaimaru? Or Haimaru? I don't know how to say your name, so I'm guessing. Yeah, we should practice some dance numbers during the breaks. Sure. Sounds good to me. So far, how do you guys like the new screen setup while we're doing dev work? Is this a little bit easier to watch? A little easier to follow along? I hope it is. It feels wrong to me, but it doesn't feel bad. So I think I could do this. I could definitely do this, like, as our thing. Yeah. Because he's got to think, like, the only thing I'm a little hesitant about is when we get into, like, MVC. And I tend to have all of my front end loaded on one panel and then all my back end on another. So that's going to get real messy real fast. And I know I can do things like, where is it? Yeah, I could do like a 2-row, 2-column like that. Now we're just in a freaking crazy town. Like, it's just going to get crazy. So I'll work on that. I've got a fever. No prescriptions more, Greg. I got a fever. Actually, Tora, I've heard your Christopher Walken impression. It's pretty good. At least I think I have. I've heard somebody's. I think it was yours. It was really good. Christopher Walken. Yes, I have. It was awesome. Let's see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jam in these charts. And here's where they're going to go. So we're going to do a chart holder, I guess, to start with. That's a good enough name for anything. Let's do a chart title, and let's do the actual chart. Like that. The chart title is going to be earnings, right? Let me open up my notepad. Yeah, point earnings. So it's just going to be your earnings. There will be a featured panel that we're going to stick to the right of the chart. So if that's the case, we have a chart holder. We're really going to need a like a top thing. Don't call it top thing, Greg. You want to, but don't call it top thing. It's happening. It's already done. Top thing, chart holder, and then next to that will be the featured panel. So we'll work that second. Let's work the chart title first. The name of the chart is going to be earnings. We're going to stick a control mechanism on this I'm going to check and see if Chartist has that built in, because they very well may have that built in to say, like, can we focus in on a certain amount of data? I'm not seeing it, but it might be there. I don't see any examples of it. So if they didn't do any examples, it's probably not a thing. So when you do that, essentially what we'll do is we'll re-render the chart with different data. So we'll figure out how to do that. So we're also going to need, next to the chart title, we may want to like stick over here the range. So we're going to call this title line or headline. Let's do headline. And then we'll break this into 2 elements. Earnings, and then another element that's going to say range. And then for the range, we probably want like a drop down, like a little select box. Boop. And let's just clear that out. So we're going to have to style this ugly thing. Oh, it's going to be so ugly if I do it like this. Let me do another span. What am I doing? Don't stick it in that span too, dum-dum. Doesn't really need the 3rd span, I don't think, but doesn't hurt. How many options do we need? 5. And then what were the options going to be? 1 month, 6 month, 1 year, 5 years, and max. Oh boy. And just do this little busy work. Yeah, let's use numbers. One month, 6 months. Oh, that would be years, right? 1 year. We're planning this thing out quite a bit by saying, look at the last 60 months of your Omatum, we're really optimistic. That's pretty, optimistic. Okay, so now we have our 1 month. There we go, and we can leave that looking ugly for now. Let's make sure that has a selected value. Let's give this thing an ID. Set chart range. Okay, that's easy enough to be like, when this thing changes, grab the value and use that to set the distance or the amount of ranges we want to show. So I'm curious, like from a backend perspective, I guess what we could do is you load in every single day and then strip down the data you don't need. There's probably a way to get a range out of that, or are we just sending over 5 different items? Say pick whatever one you want to use that one. So that data is also going to be used to populate out the chart. The table. So I bet what we'll do is we'll send the max and then kind of let this thing filter down based on that group. Okay, got those. The chart actual is going to be generated by the whatever that thing is called. We're using Chartist. Let's start writing this out. How's it going, Pollux? So let's just do this. Let's do chart holder first. Now this isn't actually going to be specific to this because we're going to have charts in several places. So let's class this out as chart container panel. Hey, Pollux, you know we have a fancy new YouTube channel? I remember you from back in the day, dude. Like getting my hair cut. Huh. Is it need to be cut? No. I just wear hats. I wear hats now. Get used to it. Okay. So now we're inside a chart panel. Let's do the headline. Chart headline. Let's give this a couple of classes so we can talk to it. Make sure it doesn't break anything. Okay, good. The chart panel itself, let's give that a little bit of width. Let's say width, I'm going to go 75% Arinos. The chart holder is the same thing, so that actually has to get an ampersand, boop, like that. And let's just see what that does. Nothing. Background color on this. Let's do black, but we're gonna bring it in so it just darkens out a little tiny bit. What framework is this, Polar Bear? Dr. Polar Bear. What are you a doctor of? This is just this is no framework. This is SCSS. We're doing a prototype, so it's all just built inside of the little SCSS stuff and little basic JavaScripts and little basic HTMLs. Yeah, so it's SCSS and HTML and a little tiny bit of JavaScript. You remember we were working on a Ruby on Rails project? Was that for a client? I don't have clients. I don't do any client work. I just do I'm at the point now where I just do stuff for myself. I do it for the company. Why would I do it in Code Sandbox or Glitch or something? I'm doing it. Look at this. It's all real time. Why would I do it in something else? You guys, let me work the way I want to work, guys. Come on. Let me do the things the way I want to do them. This is Sublime Text, the editor. Sublime Text Editor. What is this? Okay, let's start dialing this in a little bit. I just put a little bit of a background on there. Font size. Let's not go too big. Let's go 24 pixels and just see what that does. Yeah, it's not really doing that for me. Let's go a little bit bigger, 28. Okay, let's make that color Mr. White. Let's bring the font weight way down. Let's get into like cool hipster levels of fonts here. Every time this thing just will not take the new font weight. There we go. That's a little too hipstery. Let's go to 300. There we go. Once it gets at one time, it's fine. But after, yeah, it's kind of weird. I want to get some panel sort of specific things on this. So we're going to say content panel, and we're going to use that to just give anything that's a panel will have kind of like consistency. So that background color, that doesn't really matter. That can be for this one, but we just want to get a little padding on these things. Do 20 pixels of padding. Yeah. Let's do a border of 1 pix solid, and let's make it white, but we're going to pull the white back. Way back. Yeah. Just to give that little bit of an outline. We could do a little bit of a border radius on it, make it a little more, appealing looking, I guess. Yeah, Angular to me is Polar. I wouldn't go after Angular. Angular is more an enterprise tool at this point. I don't have any strong opinions on React or Vue or anything like that, but if you're looking for MVC, I would say roar as your MVC, and then just slap view onto it or whatever the hell else you want to use. Will U48. Why do I use @ inside the class? If I need to talk to the class, that's how I do it. So if I need to write code specifically for this class, for the chart headline, that's how I target it in. You can see me doing it right here for chart panel. Ruby on Rails is not really ancient, man. It's used a lot, just like PHP. It's used a lot. It's not the hotness. And as new generations of developers kind of come up, they want to use the hotness, right? But Ruby on Rails is a solid, easy to use framework. It doesn't really have any big flaws, right? If you wanted to use something like it that's a little bit faster, like from a performance standpoint, is subjective. Something like Phoenix, which is on top of a language called Elixir. Phoenix is a bit crazier. It's less, you get less stuff with it. The speed in Rails is just because it's so capable. And a lot of people just don't know how to set Rails up to be fast. So I find a lot of those arguments to be kind of stupid. Polixy nailed it, that nobody really cares how the website's built at all. Your customer doesn't care. Your client doesn't care. I thought, Rails is still getting a lot of attention. So I wouldn't say that's going anywhere. It's still my choice for if I've got to pick a backend. I'll take Ruby. Whenever I can use Ruby, I'll use Ruby. If I can't use Ruby, I think my next step is usually PHP. And if that doesn't fit the bill, I think we built something in Elixir. Python's not the worst thing ever. But really, the web is so weird nowadays. It really is. It's so weird. Like, there's so many options for everything you do. It's more like preference, I guess, and just get good with it. Like, one of the big things I have to hammer in with people, especially when you're getting started, if you're not yet a junior dev and you're kind of looking to get your first position, or if you're a freelancer and you're kind of like aimlessly working on technology and you want to make sure that someday if you wanted to, you could get an office job as a mid or a senior level developer, you need to stick to something. You need to be like really good at one thing, because being really good at Ruby on Rails will translate over to being really good at Phoenix, and that'll translate over to being really good at Python. It'll translate over to being really good at Node. Like, just mastery of one language, as long as it's not something that's completely separated from the patterns that we use today. Like, if you were building on COBOL, that doesn't translate as easily over to a modern language. But all the modern languages are the same. They're all just little syntax changes. Some of them have, you have to compile them. Some of them have some quirks that you have to figure out. But the gist of it is just pick something that you like, build a bunch of stuff in it, and just use that as an understanding that a job that says that you need to have Node, you talk to them, you say, I've got 5 or 10 years of experience in Ruby on Rails. I've built 20 projects in Ruby on Rails. They're going to take you over somebody that has 2 years of experience in Node, because everybody knows you can teach people languages. Everybody knows that. It's just the problem is when job requests go out, they're looking to plug somebody into the team immediately a lot of times. And sometimes the people that write the job requests don't understand that during the interview, they would easily take somebody that really knows their stuff in one language over somebody who doesn't really know very much about the language that they want. I would do that in a heartbeat. I feel like, I don't know, a month can get somebody almost to a point of total understanding of a different language. But Angular, to the point of this, like, learning Angular today, to me, reminds me of like learning Java, where you can learn Java. If you like Java and you want that to be your daily driver for web apps and all that stuff, great. It's fast. It's really fast. But it's sort of like you don't see Java in the wild unless you're working at a bank. You don't see it in the wild unless you have this big enterprise sort of thing. And that's sort of where Angular is going. Angular is now like the enterprise option for what React does and what Vue does, and even what we're doing here. It's the enterprise option for these front ends. And I'd like to go as far as to say you don't even need to learn React. Like if you were to show up, if I were interviewing you and you showed up and you're like, if you figured out how to do what React can do without React, that's pretty impressive. That's more impressive than being able to do it in React, in my opinion. Because then you know the ins and outs, right? All React is doing is giving you a good library to work with and a bunch of tools to get things done quicker. But everything that happens in React, everything that happens in Vue, you could write it yourself. There's nothing going on there that you couldn't write yourself. And for a lot of projects, that's how I approach it, is I'll try to just say, I don't need everything that React has. Let me just go in and do it. But to counter that, we're building a project right now. I'm doing the prototype in HTML, CSS, and basic JavaScript. I would like to try to build this in Vue just to see how those guys figured out how to make apps in Vue. I think it's kind of interesting to me. Because every time you use a new thing, there's always good parts of it, right? So what would I recommend for the front end? I don't have a strong recommendation. I really don't. I would say get yourself a tool like Preprocess. I'm not paid by them or anything like that, but it's a free tool. You go grab that. That's going to make your life a lot easier with CSS and JavaScript. It depends on what you're working on, right? Like if you're working on a marketing page that you want to be really pretty, there's no front end thing to worry about there. If you're working on a complicated web app with a ton of data that you're kind of shunting onto the user and putting on the client, it's probably, if you've never done it before, it's probably really worthwhile to pick up React or Vue, because storing data in the front end can be a nightmare. You can create performance problems really quick. There's a lot of tricks that you have to do to get that data in and out of the interface without the user seeing delay or anything like that. But I mean, it's really kind of funny. You can there's no real perceivable difference between like a React app and a DOM app, like something where you just use the shadow. You build your own shadow DOM. You want to build a shadow DOM? This is what you do. You say like div shadow like this, display. What am I doing? Style. Display none. The browser no longer cares about the DOM tree that's happening inside of a display none thing. You could stuff a million records inside of this however you wanted to, and the browser will do the things it needs to do. And that's the whole shadow right there. That's all you got to do. Now, it's things like React and Vue do that different ways, obviously, but there's things like local storage. There's web-based, web-based SQL, web SQL. Have I seen Svelte? Yeah, I don't like it. TinyScript, dude, I'm a very basic guy. I grab libraries for things I don't want to roll myself. But things like Svelte is that weird abstraction, right? Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm not even a huge fan of this stuff, to be honest. Like, I want to try Vue because it's ubiquitous, and I'd like to be able to help people out. This looks a lot like Vue. I'd like to be able to help people out with it, when they ask me for help. Doesn't happen very much. I like to have a better opinion on Vue than just like, it's weird. Why would you use it? There are too many new trends. I mean, React has a huge dominance in the front end market right now. That's right now. Right? You know what else has a huge dominance in the front end market? jQuery. How many projects use jQuery? A lot. The React may stick around for a while. It may not. There's kind of a consolidation pattern that's going on. But you don't hear much about some of these other projects. React has a lot of money. A lot of money behind it. And look at the direction Angular went in, right? I don't think you really, I'm just going to lay it out. I don't think you really need these things. I don't think there's anything about these things that gets you anything. For personal projects, I should make that really clear. For personal projects, you do whatever you want. For working on a team, the nice thing about that is like you can say, guys, we're going to use React to do this. And now you're all sharing language, right? That's pretty important to be able to do. But that doesn't mean you couldn't have a company where you went in and spent a lot of time and architected your own framework. There's really, if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to make your own framework because you said to yourself, geez, this application we're building is humongous and we need to know every little bit of it. And we don't want to rely on somebody else to update this thing. We need to just roll our own thing. That's a totally valid way to go about it too. I don't think you save a lot of money or time by switching over to like a Vue or React. You save some, but not a lot. And if it's going to take you a year or 2 years to launch an app, you might as well do it your own way. So Polar Bear, you asked for design. Do I just trial and error by coding stuff? Or do I wireframe stuff first? Usually I'll design it completely inside of like this thing in Illustrator. That's usually what I'll do. I'll do every single screen inside of Illustrator. To an extent, I usually don't go and I'm a developer and a designer, right? So I usually just kind of say, okay, I know what I'm intending to do inside of Illustrator. But for this project, all we really did was some notes like this. But I kind of made a mistake here. But I'm getting more the hang of it. Yesterday I had asked if anybody wanted me to jump in and do an HTML CSS prototype, which we're doing. And I think what this means is it's not going to look as good. But that's okay. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. So we're basically designing in the browser right now. Which is kind of fun, but I think it's going to be a mistake. I think it's going to be like, as this thing is even getting made way out in, or as we're coding it in Vue or Rails or something, we're going to say, oh, we missed something big. I tend to like to do like the note-taking process first, and then I do some sketches, and then I do a full design run, and then I go into HTML and CSS. Because I feel like in the design run, you can catch a lot of problems because it's very easy to make elements and then like move them around and get the realization, oh crap, we forgot this whole part, you know. So I want to get back into this though. My hope is we can get this page wrapped up today. Let's just start dialing this stuff in. Now the earnings range, let's just, we'll go through it like piece by piece. That looks so stupid with the border radius. I don't know why I think I like border radiuses. I've never liked them. I think they're weird. Oh, it's no problem, Polar Bear. It's no problem. I like trying to help people out. I'm not like, don't consider me like an authority on this stuff. I've been doing it a while, but you always have to find your own path. But it's really good thing to be asking questions. Ask questions, be humble. You got to keep doing that. And that's a good sign, man. You're going to do well. If you're looking to get a job or something, like that's a perfect quality in somebody, is if they ask questions, stay humble. You don't get argumentative with people. You let me, the old salty dev, get argumentative. Oh, Torah. All right. Let's get this thing flexing. Flexy boying. Chart headline. Display flex. Oh, flex, you're the best. Justify content. Space around. Spread it out. Oh, whoa. What do we do here? Okay, let's align those items. Align items. Baseline, maybe? Is that a thing we can do? Perfect. The old flexy boy. That I want touching the other one. So I'm just going to group that into a smaller span label group. Boop, boop. Boop. Whoa. And then do that thing. Good. Kapoop. Okay, save that. Cool. That looks like a little too much. I think we're supposed to be doing space between. Is that the one? Yes. Okay, so we got that little range. It says that thing. Let's make that range text a little bit smaller. Yeah, sure, call it label group. Really good labeling today. Label font size. Let's make that tiny boy, 12 pixels. Okay. And we'll have to do a replacement on the select. Is there CSS for selects now? Is that a thing? Or are we just, why don't we just leave this in? Sure, looks fine. Like, can we do things with that though? Really? It's so weird to me that they still function like this. And to be asked the question even, what do you want to change? That's a little disturbing to have to ask that question. Oh boy, we can change everything. Okay, good. Color, white. Looking good. That little arrow, that's not the color we want. Let's see if I refresh. Okay, good, we got it. Oh, perfect. Perfect. That's what we wanted. We wanted that also to be white when it was opened. Perfect. Is there any CSS for this thing? Oh, God. Just why? Get rid of the border. Okay, that's looking a little better. But why? Why? Why is that white? Dang it. MDN select element. Let's see what we can talk to. Oh, thanks, hamster. Why would it let me choose a dog and not show me a dog? Disappointing. Where's the stars? Where's the stars? I can't rate the documentation. Well, if I could, 0 stars. You don't give somebody a dog option, say no dog. All right. So where's our CSS stuff? Yeah. You're not going to show me, are you? Styling hittable forms? I'm going to go to advanced one. Advanced hittable form styling. Oh boy. Okay. No. Yeah, what is that thing called behind it? What can be done about the ugly elements? Love it. Select wrappers. Oh no. Not good. I wouldn't even know what to call that. It was a select menu? Is select menu the thing? Appearance none is crazy town. Like, what does that do? Reset it? To fix this, we use a role for an appearance none to get rid of the icon altogether. It's called the dropdown. Okay, so style the select dropdown. You know what, MDN? I'm just typing it in. Style select dropdown. Oh no. W3 schools. Oh, hold on. They figured it out. Everybody poops on W3 schools, but they, oh crap, it's this way. Is it this way? Oh, we're not this way. Not that way. I am not that into it. I think we could do something. Hold on, I got an idea. Boop. This is the idea. Select focus. Ah, you sucker. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I guess you could set the options. You're right. That's another. Why don't we do that instead? I like your way better. Look at that, smart. Could you do background colors on the options? Oh yeah, you could. Look at us. Look at us. We're developing. And now we don't have to mess with the color. Dude. Cool. Let's get rid of the outline on this thing. Screw you. Accessibility. Well, it's still there. But, you know, whatever. Let's do a different highlight. That's going to be hover and focus, right? And let's make it our nice little thing. Oh, nope. Not for this guy. Not for you. Nope. Doesn't want that to be the thing. See, that is a different color something. I do want to get rid of this weird little bounding thing around it. We don't need that. Let's see. Could we do like, can we do a thing on this? I got an idea. We use this really weird thing called background filter. Is that it? Background. I gotta spell background first. Filter. What was it? It was for our login thing. Backdrop filter. I'm just curious if you can do that in an option. Oh, you totally can. At least I think you can. Hold on. Background color. Make that transparent. So if it's transparent, it just does that, really? It just goes to white? There's something else behind it then? Must be. Well, that was a good idea. It would have been fun. Not today. Yeah, let's just change this highlight color because that just looks too basic. Option highlight color CSS. How to change the color. Oh, dicks. It's like 6 years old. This guy's gonna be like, you gotta use jQuery. It's the only way. Outline color. That's it, really? Outline color? Well, that's the outline color. Select. Well, that might get rid of that blue box. No, it gets rid of nothing. Outline color transparent, maybe? It does nothing. This is not code that works. Huh. That background color is referencing a CSS variable. Okay, so focus, hover, and active. Well, that gets that thing doing that thing. I have a focus. Well, that wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if it's got both. This is just a way to hit both of those things. So it's saying hit option hover and hit option focus with this rule. Border color. Is it border color? We did border none. Maybe you have to do border none on the options too. Well, this is just trying to get rid of the blue right now. So that blue is just there. Come on. It's not that big of a deal, but it's kind of a big deal now that we're in it. Nope, not going to do that. Not using that form. Blue hover cover. Oh boy. This is the same thing we're just on. It's not easy to change the style of option elements that are rendered by your operating system. The only option is to use the box shadow CSS property. What? What? Oh, that didn't. Oh, it totally did the thing. It at least got that part. You know? You know what? You know what? Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is weird. What? This part's weird. What on focus do these things? Okay. Well, you know what? I think we'll just let it be blue because whatever's going on with this is just crazy. Just to do that one thing. Let's see one more. Oh, yeah, I guess you could do that. Yeah. Do like a custom ULLI. Okay, forget it. Well, for whatever reason, they don't want us to do anything with that. It's a conspiracy, for sure. Let me make that just a little bit tinier font size. Okay. Okay. Make that label just a different color here. I think I set that label color twice. Okay, yeah. All right, so that's a little bit narrow for that screen, but once that's like full screen, that'll be a nice big chart. See that? Nice big chart. Let's get the actual chart built in now. So we have, do we have a place for that to go? Chart actual? Yeah, we do. Here goes charts. Let's give that a little bit of space from the title. And now we actually have to use Chartist or whatever to get the code written. I'm going to make a new JS for that. I guess we just stick it in this big giant prototype stuff thing. We'll just say draw the test chart. It's going to be a new function. And then it's going to do whatever the heck this wants us to do. Let's just start reading. So really what we need is a specific type of chart called an area. We want a filled area, which, you know what? We didn't see an example of that. So that should be fun. I kind of want to just see the documentation for this. I don't want to. There we go. Or we could just, yeah, let's look at examples. Maybe there's just one doing the thing. Line chart with area. Oh, there we go. A bipolar line chart with area only. Bipolar? Is that the right word? Is that the word we should be using? Bipolar line chart. I know. Sometimes I'm happy and sometimes I'm sad. Okay. So looks like we just do this. And that should get us that thing. So let's just copy paste that in and see if it actually does generate it. I might have had to instantiate this, but let's just do this for now and see. Maybe we don't have to instantiate it. Maybe we're fine. So we're going to target in the chart actual here. Save that. Do it. It does nothing. It did none of that. Save it one more time. Let's check our console. Say like, why didn't you do that? Cannot read property query selector null, all of null. An object chart is created. I bet you have to smack that thing one time to say a chart's going to be in here. I bet. At least once. You got to say, hey, there's going to be a chart inside of this thing. Yeah, let's use Bauer. Sure. 1993. Okay. So we've got our Chartist CSS in there. The sassy way. Sure. How about you just show me the code I need to do the thing? So interestingly enough, they say that you need something called CT chart. So we're going to be using their CSS library. So let's keep that in mind. That very well may have generated the chart, but because we weren't using their CSS, it might just be empty. So let's do CT chart. I don't know what this CT perfect fourth thing is. Okay, so it looks like it's not firing. It's, let me see if it's giving me the same error. Yeah. Query selector all of null. Is it because, yeah, because this thing, is that a thing? It says query selector of null. So it's saying there wasn't anything for me to do here. There wasn't anything for me to render. I bet if I type in draw test chart, we get a chart. I bet if I just run that manually, boom, bingo, bango. It's right there. Yeah. So the problem is, well, first of all, it's not replace. That's weird. That it doesn't empty these things out. So let's could you just keep putting charts in? Is that the way this works? How many? Let's just keep doing it. There we go. Let's just see. It looks like there's one chart, but could there be two? Could there be 1,000? How many charts are there inside of this? Oh God. For an object. That's a dangerous thing to put inside of a thing. Nope, looks like just like one chart. But why didn't it clear this out? It was like, no, the text was there. It stays there. It doesn't have to go anywhere. So let's get rid of this. And then we're going to have to remember that these things, they can't load in. Like this can't load in at this point. So we have to take this off of this stack right here. And then we can, let's just add something this is a prototyping problem, not anything else. We're going to add something to our nav buttons here. And then we're going to say data as chart like that for any of these pages that have a chart. And that's going to tell it needs to trigger the next function to smack a chart draw once the page is loaded. So I don't know if this is sync or async. I'm going to check really quick. And this would be a callback because it's jQuery. Yeah, it's going to need a callback. Oh, yeah. Let's get into jQuery. I don't see the problem with this pattern, though. Come on, guys. You just do a comma. You write function. You don't have to think, is it async? Do I do a wait? What do I do? What's the thing? Is it wait for me? Do I just do a wait for me function I want to run? Functiono? No. You just do a comma, write function. It's going to happen afterwards. Easy peasy weasy. So just draw test chart. Boom. Save that. Boom. There we go. So the problem was, again, it was firing on an empty thing. So it didn't have the ability to fire. These colors are not good. So we'll work on that in a minute. Let's get a series drawn up here, just so I can see how that works. I want to see if I can find, an example will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I doubt this thing has a date fixer, so we might need to implement something like Moment.js eventually to get timestamps converted. I'm going to put a little note here to do that. Use Moment.js for timestamp conversions eventually. All right. So the labels, let's just pretend it's on 1 month. So we need an array of all the days in the past 30 days. Okay. Let's see. How do we do that? The terminal online. Okay, so we're going to do a date array equals, and then date array, in you go. I need a range of dates. So let's do that. Range of dates, Ruby, create a range of dates. Oh boy, we're making classes. We don't want Rails, we want Ruby. Ruby may not have a good way to do this. Like Ruby might need some extra stuff to do it. What does date time now get us? Is that going to be in here? Data time. It's data time. Yeah. Give it. Do it. Do the IDE thing. Do it. Do the autocomplete. Come on. Date. This is the worst IDE. The one built into Airtable was better. It was so good. Date time now, and let's print out that array. Let's get rid of that thing because that's gonna break everything. Run it. Initialize constant date time. Wonderful. So date time like that. Thanks for your auto completion. Yeah, same thing. So it doesn't have that. Let's see, do we have date time as a package we can drop in there? Boop. Datetime picker. No, not that one. Datetime helper? Possibly. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this as well. But we'll do it this way. So this is just like a way to generate fake data. Is there a fake data generator we can grab? Macaroo. Okay. Oh boy. Let's do, what are the arrays first? We can do custom. Perfect. We probably need quotes. Yeah. Okay. Now, can we get dates? Okay. Oh boy. How are these going to sort themselves? Like it's just whatever label whatever the label order is. Well, let's start with this. Whatever that means. Fields with the same blank percent will be okay. Whatever. Close that. What's the FX? Alter the value. Don't worry about that. Don't do that. Dude, I don't want all that though. Oh, why'd I hit that button? Columns must be specified. Oh, come on. It'd be easier to do this in Ruby. I don't know what I'm doing this in here for. So it's not really doing the things I need to do. What the hell is bomb? Oh boy. Like I'd hit the download thing. I'm a little. The thing is, it's not even doing any of this. So what if we did CSV? Preview it. That's not comma separated. Unless it's just trying to show me what it would look like. Oh, great. Show. Let's open it with, what? Notepad. There's no commas, you dummies. How is that comma separated values? How can it be comma separated values if there's no freaking, just anger. Okay, that's not what we want. Tab to limited. Sequel preview. No, that's a pretty useful thing though. Because Sandra Firebase custom. All I want is commas in between everything and quotes around everything. Let me try this one. Why? Why do you have to be like this? Why? I gotta pay. Watch, it's just like you need to pay for it. If you want this thing to actually work, you gotta pay. And what is this thing where the dates are like just whatever dates they wanted to stick in here? Just whatever dates. Okay, yeah, we're we should have been doing this in Ruby. All right, so we need date time. I've never actually worked Ruby forward using packages. Sounds weird, but I almost always have used either Rails, or I've used Ruby that doesn't require another package to be jammed in. We'll try that one. Boom, add it. Do we have a terminal here? Can we do things with this? Can we install a Bitcoin miner? It's doing stuff, man. That's doing things. Where's my Bitcoin miner? It's time to make this channel some money. Oh, you can. Guys, it's not a good idea to write a terminal into the browser. It's just not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. Why would you give me a terminal in my browser that connects to your hardware? You'd spin up a bajillion of these things. You start Bitcoin in it. This is installing a lot of stuff just to put this one thing in. You'd think for Ruby IDE, they would have localized all the gems. Whatever. I'm not hacking it, guys. I'm not going to hack this thing. I'm just saying, maybe you shouldn't do this. Maybe this hardware or whatever you got running here probably isn't sandboxed as well as you think it is. And giving people access to stuff like this is a little scary. So I think it's so funny, though. Let's just back out of that. Tempting. Very tempting. So we're going to get datetime helper in here in, I don't know, 30 fucking minutes. Just wait. See if we can find the easy mode Stack Overflow, copy paste this thing in. Ruby generate list of dates. There we go. List array of days between two dates. Boom. Okay. So date is what we need. Oh, dang it. I bet date is built into Ruby. Why would it not be? But we got to wait because this thing's installing. Dang it. Because we don't need the time. We just need the date. Like, that looks pretty good. Yeah, let me just map it out. Just to generate some dummy data, too. What else do we need? So we might need date. Let me see. I would imagine that's already installed. Oh, boy. I mean, it says it. I mean, it's auto-completing to it. So you just, maybe it's auto-completing to that, though. Can we just, no Kogiri, really? Do you see this? This thing is just like hanging up right now. Maybe this couldn't be the best Bitcoin miner. It's having trouble putting a package in. Oh boy. Come on. Get it. Get it. There we go. Oh, there we go. Now it's installing Rails. And you go, Rails. If we don't have date at this point, it's straight up just installed Rails on this little box. Wonderful. Can't run clear on the terminal. Wonderful. So that's just going to be hidden back there. There we go. Clears up at the top. Which IDE am I using? I'm not using an IDE. This is like some online one called repl.it, repl.it. Just so I don't have to pop a terminal, you know? Let's run that. Okay. You have already activated RSpec support, but your gem file requires RSpec. Oh, no. New one. New one. That's time for a new one. We broke that one. That's the end of that. Run. See what we get. I just want a date. I just want to see today. Oh, hold on. We got it. We got date class. So now we're just going to have to feed it whatever the heck it wants. Date parse. So we'll tell it to parse out some dates. Figure it out. What are we looking like? We're looking like year, month, day. Okay, got it. So what we need to do is do a range. So we start with the from and go to the to. So let's move this up. Probably don't even need that thing. Boop. And date 2 equals boop. Same thing. And we'll do boop. And we'll do, so 31 days in this month? Nope. And then we'll say date array, blap blap. This is why I love Ruby. It's such a fun language. Run that, should get a bunch of dates. Well, we got one date. That's cool. You know, just the one. I forget like a step here. Is a map. Oh, so we have to pull the map back open. Is that right? Date from, date to. I'm curious if I have to reverse these. Oh. I'm doing the array push thing. And it looks like you don't even set it. You just, it's not in a loop. Boom. So now we've got the mapped date range, I guess. Sure. And, oh wow, we could have skipped that whole thing just on this. So we just do dot map and map it out. I wish I knew this syntax better. And 2s. I know what the map is doing, but what I'm trying to figure out is how we put a block in here. I think this guy did it here. Yeah. So block goes inside of these guys again. Okay. And you call that D. That's going to get you a bunch of these things. Then you do strift time. That's what he was trying to do. Date from, date to. Oh boy. I know what he's trying. I want to just see if I can get what he got. Boom. Okay. So now we just need to convert those over. Boom. So now we got all these, and now we need to map those again. So you just take that same thing and map it same way. Date, and then So he's got this little thing here to do that. I'm just gonna copy that. That's like string from time, I think that stands for. And then we can, with this, we can actually run through and see how that wants to be set up. Oh boy, that didn't do it. Yeah, we're gonna go look up the string formatting. Yeah, string format time. Yeah, thanks, Sigma. So why didn't that go in there? Is this one of these things? Date list equals one of those guys? Yeah, it was. Okay. So it got this backwards. Great. Or that's the whatever European way, because we start with the day and then go to the month. Yeah. So what we want is we want the month to actually be like a word. Oh, you guys can't see that. Sorry. Let me do that. There we go. I'm at the bottom of the console. So now we're going to go look up the strf time rules, and we're just going to grab. Really? Can we use the? You probably can use the Python ones. These are universal. So I want a 3-letter month, and that's going to be B. So B, and then a space. We want the day. Probably as 0 padded, just for now. So D, so B, yeah, so I would say like April, something, and then the year is probably not important for this one. So we'll just leave that out. I'm going to take all this code and say, like, if I need to do this again, which I'm going to probably need to do it again. There we go. Just go, and this is the code you're going to jam in. Give myself a little link to come back to. Okay, so now we're going to take these and jam them into the labels. So instead of doing this all in one place, I'm going to separate this out a little bit. I'm really curious if I could provide the labels and series in one thing. I'm going to take a look at that. Boop. Oh, it's already a thing. Boop. Okay. And then down here, we just say use the chart labels or chart dates. Cool. The series, we're going to need however many. What are these? 1, 2. Oh, geez, I'm just counting. That's like a dummy. I think that's 30. So we'll just need 30 random things. And this will be number of points. So we would say we need a random number between something and something. Maybe between like 0 and something else. I wonder if my little smart brain can do this. Well, is that going to do something 30 times? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. That's more than 30. I forgot a thing, didn't I? Yep, I forgot a thing. Well, that's going to go on for quite some time. I'm sorry about that. Let's, you're going to have to make a new one of these now. There's some box that they're paying for somewhere. Some AWS micro box. They forgot. It just keeps going. Let's do that. And then, well, I minus. Is that the thing? Try to let's run another box. T-screen to or. Oh, hold on. Well, we'll just do this. Well, I is greater than 0. And then this minus I. I think it's backwards like that. I don't remember. We'll break this one too. Oh boy. It's not stopping. It is not stopping. It's going to keep going. That's just going to keep doing its thing. All right. Let's try again. Let's just burn another one of their boxes over at AWS. The terminal's locked up. We don't know what's going on. Yeah, I minus 1. Let's run this thing. Oh, shit. What am I getting wrong here? Can I click stop? Oh, I could totally click stop. It's recursive at this point. I equals, oh, son of a. Okay. Well, that one's burned out, boys. What happens if we hit stop? Oh, that's okay. So it does, it halts the box. Okay. I equals. What is the thing though? I'm really curious. Is it like I minus minus bang or something? Bang I minus minus. We're going to do it the I don't know what I'm doing way. Boom. Okay. That's it. So now we can do rando bando here. So number array, slam it right in just like that. Rando bando. Let's do between 0 and, I mean, really in one day you could get a lot of points, but you probably won't get a ton. So it's just to make the chart simple. Let's do like 35. And then at the end of this, we'll print that. Could have gone with a for loop. Could have done a lot of things different, Grace. I could have been a painter. There we go. Oh boy. Yeah, let's just put this button right here where you might need to grab some code. That's a great place for that button. Jeez, guys. Come on. Oh, just keeps running it. All right, I'm going to update my my code over here too. Okay, and then say chart data here. What's interesting is the series actually is taking an array. So my curiosity says, like, what else can you stick in there? If you gave it 2 arrays, what's it going to do? See, do we get it? Oh yeah, look at this. We got it. There's no hover, so that's going to be something to figure out. I'd love it if I could have hovered and seen the values. So back to Chartist. So at least we have our test data in. That should be the same every time. Let me make sure I get this code stuffed back over here just in case we want to say, oh, let's try a different set. But for now, that's good. Back to Chartist. Yeah. What I need to get deeper now, Chartist. I'm way deeper than this thing. It is kind of, I don't know, a little bit weird to do this. There are other chart libraries that you can just send the objects in and say the label's this and the data is this. Maybe there's a way to do that. I'm just going to keep looking. That's just so weird that you can do this. And I didn't see any labels. Hold on, before we go any further. Oh yeah, that's how I want those to look. Perfect. You had to put them all in? Is that the idea? Yeah, all of them had to go in. What is your weird ass CSS for this? Oh, great. Inspect. Oh, well, the labels happen to be, it looks like foreign objects. No other way to do this. Okay, the CT label. Let's just hit that real quick. One of those days. There we go. Looks great. Looks real good. Perfect. Totally legible. 100% easy to read. I'm a fan. So we need to definitely get into the gist of this, because I wonder if there's a way to say restrict the data a little bit more there, Pally Boy. Because you say there's 2 items here. That must be why there's an array for the series. So if I did 2 of them, it would give me a second chart on the same label group. I don't want to style it so much yet. I want to control the fact that you put a million labels in there. How about that? We're in API land. We're not in get started land. Okay, so this is a line that's generating. Yeah, it's a type of line, so we'll go to that. Okay, there's a bunch of options we can set. But of course, no need to show people what that would be. So what we want is we want all the data points, but we don't want all the, what would you call it? We don't want all the labels. Oh boy. Okay, well, apparently there's a bunch of stuff you can set. Okay, let's see. As high as specified, the accessible display value is explicitly up to this value. Okay, low. Okay. Scale min space. If set to true, the scale will be generated with whole number. Okay, nobody cares. Only integer, true. Okay, make sure this always be there. Reference value 5. Okay, nope. Have some blank values in the date array. Why? Oh, well, that's one way to solve it, but I'd rather solve it like without having to pass it blank values in the date array. Doesn't look like there's many options there though. So there's specific line options. Yes, a prototype pack. Yeah, but I've got to, if I'm prototyping stuff like this, I want this to move over. I want to figure this out here, But I guess to be honest, you make a good point. You could just get rid of them. Just move forward. Because I guess that wouldn't even be too hard to do in the data, but that would mean you wouldn't be able to use one source of data for all this. You'd have to have all these things figured out beforehand. But yeah, let's see. Oh, it's going to just take some time. Let's leave the first one. We'll just go boom. Let me see if that looks a little bit better. Leaving 2 out. Yeah. How's it going, Clutch? I'm not doing too bad. Thanks for asking. Oh, you son of a bitch. Let's just pretend there's an April 31st. Because that's going to be the problem. Boom. Okay. Got that going. This thing definitely lands a little bit weird. So the April 31st one lands weird. Well, if it It might just be the wrong library we're using too. I'm going to see, because I want a tooltip. I want to hover. Yeah, I should have checked for all this stuff. This is my bad. Yeah, I should have checked for it. Let's see if there's plugins that do this. Tooltip plugin. Thank God. Oh, that's the way you wanted to do it? That's the way you want to do the tooltip? That's it? That's it? That's the thing? Okay. Oh, that's another way you can do it, is like that. Oh. Okay. Oh, the animate. We'll get to the animation. Let's just get this thing working first. That animation was awesome. That's just like, why? Why would you know when you're on top of something? Edit the example. Oh, jeez. Well, I get it. The guy contributed. That's awesome. But why would you want a tooltip to show up while you're not on top of it, right? We can see if there's anything on top of the plugin that he made or she made. Anchor to point. Okay. That might work. Sorry about the coughing. Why would I be defining currency inside of this? Well, I'll figure that out. That anchor to point might be the thing. And we can class it. Okay. Oh boy. Just a lot of stuff just for this thing. So where is the dist? Let's get the CSS. I don't really think we need to stick that in its own little CSS file. We'll just stick it at the bottom of this guy. Get out of here. Label. Save that. Nope, there's going to be no mapping. No mapping today. No mapping ever. There you go. Let's get that JavaScript file. Oh, crap, I closed it. We are doing a lot of work to make this work, though. Just because I want to make a sweet-ass looking graph. Just to point that out. We could have had chart, whatever the hell, up and running by now. And it has all that crap built in. Grab that. Let's do the chart plugin thingamajig. So what do we need to do here? New JavaScript file. This is not the chart library I use. I've never used it before. If I were, most times I'll use D3 clutch, but I just don't. D3 takes a long time to set up, but we probably would have had it set up by now. So, you know, we didn't really save any time here. Okay, and then, oh boy, let's just move that over here. Now we're going to look at see how you apply these things. Looks like you just say plugins. Okay, show area true. Let me try full width here too, because that seems like a thing we can do. Full width. I'd rather let that draw out and control it than have it decide it doesn't want to be as big as it needs to be. And then for plugins, just apply an array of the plugins. Okay. We probably don't. What are we doing? We don't need to make new lines for this. Chartist. Plugins. Tooltip. Boop. Although we might want to once we get into setting options for this thing. Looks great. Well, look at it. It's way up there. You really figured that one out, didn't you? Chartist tooltip generator. How is it that far off? Close. It's very close. It does go away when you're not hovering it. It does get that part right. Is it because it's like a weird... It just decided, hey, let's just be 100 and 200 pixels off, just to the northeast there, northwest. Jeez. Guys. Thank you for your free things, open source community. Just say that and shut up about it. I bet if I had to guess, Clutch, it needs positioning. It's gonna, like, that chart thing is gonna need positioning. It might be because I set full width. Let me just double check. Nope. Let me just let me see if that's it really quick. So we say we'll just give the position relative to it. Yeah, that's what it wanted. It just wanted position relative. That's it. I'm not really a big fan of that little hovery thing there, so we're going to do this snap to point thing. Where is it? Boom. Where is it? Give me the thing. Anchor to point. Let's try that. Yes, better. That works. That's a thing we can do that. All right. Now there's a couple other missing pieces in the CSS because we used a black background, I think. So there's a couple of extra extra thing. Oh boy. A couple of extra things in here that we could be styling up. Like I really think it's important to use hash marks and grids and stuff like that. I'm trying to see where that, I don't even know where they are. So that's it. CT grids. Alrighty. Well, this should be fun. So we have CT label, CT grids. I'm guessing it's a background color, but these are lines. So if they're lines, they might need fill or stroke color or something like that. Let's try background color white, just see if we can pop them forward. Nope. That wasn't it. Try CT grid. That wasn't it. I'm guessing it's stroke. Nope. Oh, dang it. The stroke color's not a thing. So stroke, just stroke. Boom. There they are. Okay. So now at least we can talk to them. And they're going to look like crap because they're so tiny. But as they get a little bit bigger, they look a little bit better. All right. Let's see what we can do about the area behind it. Oh, boy. And Nick had given me a tip to right-click on these things. It doesn't always work, because sometimes they turn that crap off. So there's grids, and there's a G group. It's probably series. Okay, so that is... Who knows what? It's not even labeled. There's one path there called CT area. Okay, do that one. CT area. But that's a path, so what can we do that looks cool in a path? It's all fills. Dang it. And why does that have opacity? Is that opacity? It's just opaque because they figured, hey, you want that to be opaque. Great. SVG is great for graphs, to be honest, but it's just working with somebody else's SVG is it just takes a little bit of time to figure out oh my God, to figure out all these little things. Because you have CT point too, so we'll just put that in there for now. Because you don't know how they did it. You don't know how they're setting everything. Like all these little stroke widths and things like that. You don't always know how they went about setting these things. because there's different ways. Like you don't have, there's not a homogenized way to do that. This part's really interesting though, with the fill somehow being opaque. So they did fill opacity on that MCT area. So it's fill opacity. And now we can push the opacity up. Unreal. Because this is earnings, I'm going to want that actually to fill out to be our nice green color. And then I want those points to be that color. So I think we're in that ballpark now. And then I want that line, which I now have to go find again, to be a nice green color. Oh, come on, just give it to me. There we go. CT point. We need something called like CT line. We need a big, crazy looking path. There you go, CT line. And the nice thing is we can pass things into this, I think, to affect the way the lines work and look. Like we could say like, for this one, let me see if it'll take an RGBA value. Yes, it will. Okay. Cool. Which is weird, right? Why wouldn't you use that to make it less of a thing? Get that stroke width down. For the points, I think these are just rounded, they're like single points. So I think we can just do this and get that stroke, the points down just a little bit. Yeah, like that. And then we can do really kind of cool stuff, I'm guessing, to say like CT point on hover. Let's get that stroke width up to 10 pixels. Yeah, look at that. And then you can start to tap those things in. How cool is that? Because like that's the nice thing about SVGs. It's essentially like, it's not canvas. In canvas, pull these things off, you're in a crazy town in canvas. But in SVG, you're essentially talking to a thing with a DOM, and the thing with a DOM can be styled. It has attributes. It's just going to depend like what things is it going to let you do. Because we should be able to even put little transitions on those. Yeah, little transitions. We could do something where the fill opacity is a little bit low, and when you hover the chart, we have to put this underneath, I think, to override it. So once you hover that, take the CT area, make that fill opacity go up a little bit, just to let you know, hey, you can do stuff here. That's a little too much. Poop. Just a little bit. Just a little, hey, you can do stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the worst chart. I'm curious too if we could do a fill from top to bottom that was gradient fill, but you know, another day for that. Okay. Oh man. Well, guys, I'm sorry to kind of cut it. I have to go review a video in the other room. Are these guys even still here? Yeah, they are. Okay, good. I gotta go do a video review. So I'll be back tomorrow to get this more wrapped up. I hope you guys enjoyed the format more today. If you're new, please hit that follow button so you can get notified on the next stream that we do. If you want to get even more intimate, we have a Discord channel. There's a Discord channel, and you can come join that and hang out and do whatever in the world you want to do. We also have been working really hard on getting a YouTube channel figured out. So let me post the link for that. We have really good content there. We take these videos that are like super long, we cut them down, we make them funnier. It's like condensing down into something really funny, you know? It's kind of a cool thing. Oh yeah, I'll definitely do a raid. But I just wanted to thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate the help today, and I love that you guys can come and watch this stuff. Let's find somebody to raid. I'm supposed to be at the end of these streams. The editors are telling me I'm supposed to be doing wrap ups. I totally forgot to. So it's too far. We're past that now. I'm gonna go find a really tiny person to raid. Does that sound cool? So we're gonna go to science and technology. Guys, just stick around for 5 minutes. You're gonna make somebody smile. That's why I like finding the people with the webcams. Got a guy learning Prisma 2, but his name is Tourette's Programmer. I don't know if that's the best family friendly one. You're gonna make somebody's day. You watch it. Update to Razor Page web app. Then working with our Xamarin app. That sounds amazing. This guy's got a green screen and everything. Okay, cool. We got him. Get ready. Get ready. Here we go. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you folks tomorrow. Should be starting around 1 p.m. Here you go. Have fun. All right, take care, guys. Off you go.